Okay. And we're here. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weekly after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
That's late.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me hear you again.
Can you hear me?
One more again.
One more again.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Turn up your. I think it's your headphones that you don't hear too much of.
All right. I hear it.
You hear
Yes,
it?
I do.
No,
Yeah.
there you go. All
Class
right.
Lady Sparkle.
Yeah, Classy Lady Sparkle is definitely in the building. And we of course we have a amazing show for you today. Super excited about some of the things that we've been doing lately. Of course, building our brand as we should, and
Yeah.
everyone who if we've been getting a lot of texts and emails and requests on how can we get on We Talk Weekly. I'm gonna tell you how you can get on We Talk Weekly. All you have to do is go to our website. There's a tab that says be a guest. Real
Mhm.
simple. Go to that tab and click in, and then we schedule you just that, like that, just that easy. And that's how we do it here. It's not that hard. So if you got an interesting story, if you know someone that may be a good interview, if you know any of that, let us know. Let them come down. Be a guest on the show, right? We talk to anybody, right? When we talk to
Nah, we don't talk to
we don't talk to
anybody.
anybody.
I mean,
They would
yeah.
talk to anybody.
Well, we paid our dues. We had
Yeah,
some
yeah,
very high profile interviews, and
yeah.
I'm not just talking celebrity. I'm talking about people who've given back to the community,
That's right.
made a difference, and had some interesting stories. So, unsung heroes have been,
Unsung heroes. I like that. Unsung
yeah.
heroes. So we had a lot of those amazing folks on the show. But then we have like the entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur, you have a interest in brand product. Let us
Hmm.
know, so we can talk about, so we can see it, especially things that you believe will benefit the community, right?
Those are unsung
Yeah,
heroes too.
that's right.
Like,
That's
yeah,
right. Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the young lady who came with the pocketbooks.
Oh, yeah. I liked her. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt,
like
no doubt.
she has some very nice
Yeah,
items.
yeah.
Very nice.
And if you missed that episode, make sure you tune in. That episode is amazing. That should be up also. And so,
Mm-hmm.
uh, sister, black owned business,
Yeah,
held it
yeah.
down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Quality
quality. Yeah,
pieces.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
you know what quality is, she has some good quality pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
And she
definitely.
had some for kids, she had some for men, great colors. So I think she was awesome. Mm.
Is if it was someone who you would like to be on a show, who would that be?
In regards to like
Anybody?
um see, y'all don't. I'm a little different. I'm not gonna say the people that people are probably like used to. I'm looking at like I mentioned this before. Deepak Chopra. There's a Indian guy. His name is Sada Guru under his
Okay.
Instagram name, but it's Sada.
Sada.
Yeah, he's very inspirational. He talks about a lot of I want to say like Tao, like the Taoism type of stuff.
Uh,
But he's Indian, so he has that approach. But those that's somebody I would want to say.
where can people find him? I've never heard of him before.
Not on
No.
Instagram.
Oh, he's all.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. I
on
mean, he's
Instagram.
almost he got to be in his like late 70s.
Oh,
Like
okay. So
he's been around for over almost 40 plus years. He's a yogi.
he's a
Yeah,
yogi.
he's a yogi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. And who would you like to see?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that.
You got to throw somebody out there. It
Let me
can't
see,
be just
let me see, let me
nobody.
see. I would like our mayor back on the show.
Oh, that's
I would
interesting.
love the mayor to come back to We Talk Weekly. Let's have a conversation. I would like her to come back to the
Okay,
show.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The aftermath of like things
Yes.
that have already taken place,
Things
and
that
now we
have
got
already.
questions.
Yes, we got some questions.
Okay,
We
all
got
right.
some questions.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see that.
no doubt. Yeah, one of those
Okay.
things, man. But then we any who else is out there that we would like to talk to, because of certain things that ain't, we need some questions, we need some answers to. But until then, if you have any person that you believe might fit well with We Talk Weekly, let us know. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. Had them come, had them reach out. It's real simple to come on the show, and we want you on here. But you also can shout somebody out too. You got an amazing story, email us, let us know. That's real simple. We talk weekly at gmail.com. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to donate to us, you can do that too. I think I have. If you want to donate to us, we can definitely use the support. because this independent shows, we don't get paid to do the show. We do this show out of the blood, sweat, and tears, out of the passion that the people say, yo, we want y'all on the show. We want y'all to continue the show. Can you have this person on the show? So we continue to come here. But it costs us some money sometimes. And so, the resources, we can use it. We can use anything that the people give, the people donate, and you can do that by Cash App. At Cash App, We Talk Weekly. It's real simple. Donate, dig a little, donate to us. We really appreciate that. So let's go.
Or dig big.
Dig. How about?
All right.
Just dig big. How big?
Right.
How big?
Big enough. Like, I mean, we always try to be humble, but sometimes humble ain't always the way. We work hard, and a lot of this is, like you said, our sweat and tears. So
for sure. But you know what I would like not to be sweating and crying about?
What?
Some good news.
Okay. Yeah, we can do some good news.
Some good news. All right.
Can I do a shout out real quick?
Do a shout out.
I want to give a shout out to the Klein News Innovation Camp. Sizzle and I went today, and it was amazing. Sizzle had told me that she went last year, and it was awesome then, and they had a full program. I wasn't able to attend and stay the whole time, but we got in some great breakout sessions and heard some journalists that's been in the game for a very long time, and they were just dropping so many gems. They were giving out some great information. So shout out to that, and shout out to Sizzle for her bringing me with her today. I had a great time.
Fantastic. So we'll talk to Sizzle in a little bit, talk about the Klein event, talk about some of the things that's going on and making some moves. But first, you know what I need? I need some good news and bad news. That's what I need. All right. Give it to me early.
All right, y'all. So I got a few stories because a lot of stuff has been going on in the news. So we know we just had the election, and Black voters had made their presence felt across Philly. The top turnout was in areas like the Cobb Creek area, Germantown, and Mount Airy. They hit in the high 30s and 40s, with the 9th ward topping off at 61%, and the 22nd ward, they were topping off at 54%. That's in like the Mount Airy section. Overall, 379,000 Philadelphians voted. I'm gonna say the number one more time. 379,000 Philadelphians voted.
That's a decent amount.
That's the city's highest since 1989. So y'all gotta get angry to say, hey, some people be like, my vote don't count, all this other stuff. But now they see things are not the way they want them. So they like, hey, if we can't do nothing, we gotta get out here and at least do a vote. So good for y'all. So government, Mickey Sherrill, she earned 94% of the Black support.
Okay.
Yeah. 9th ward leader, Mickey Sherrill is the new governor that was just elected. The 9th ward leader, Jeff Duncan.
Okay.
He said people are concerned about rising costs, slow jobs, and what's happening in Washington. Campaign policy maker Anthony Capasi said, Black and brown voters understand that public safety and justice reform go hand in hand. This was no fluke. So they get it. Yeah, they get it. And Sherrill is with New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
governor.
Yes, the new
of
governor.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say. Okay, we talked. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it's South Jersey or Jersey, but still, like it's still adjacent to Philadelphia.
For sure.
But, yeah. I believe Krasner.
Shout out to Krasner.
Yeah, Krasner won by a landslide too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our next story is about something that has hit a lot of people all over. SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits are now being loaded though on the EBT cards in Philadelphia. About $366 million was issued across the Commonwealth. So now Josh Shapiro had to get in. He asserted himself and said that nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians rely on SNAP every month, and they shouldn't have to wonder where their next meal will come from because of the dysfunction that's going on in Washington. He also added that our Pennsylvania food banks cannot meet the needs that is left with SNAP not being funded. So in addition to this, also that was on a Pennsylvania base. So we're going to make it a little smaller on a Philadelphia base. Mayor Sherelle Parker, she launched a $14 million One Philly SNAP support plan. Have y'all heard of this? $7 million from the city and $7 million from the state and private partners have been donated to help nearly 500,000 residents hit by the federal shutdown, who's been facing food insecurities. Mayor Parker said that they should never be one of them. The city pledged to give $2 million each to Fill Abundance and Share Food Program. Councilmember Dr. Nina Ahmad called it a man-made crisis, from what's going on in Washington, and cruelty by design, end quote. So some people were upset about the way Mayor Parker was pretty much doing the SNAP benefits. Did you understand what I was trying to say?
I don't know.
Okay, so in other cities, they were taking the money and they were giving it back to the people that was going to receive it, but they were like putting it on a card.
Okay.
This way in Philadelphia, they were only going to give it to the food program. So Fill Abundance or the Share Food Program, you would have to go through these programs in order to get your food. So Josh Shapiro inserted himself to say that these funded SNAP food programs cannot. They can't meet the needs of everybody like that.
Shout out
you know
to
what
Shapiro,
I mean?
yeah.
So that's why he was able to get it where they got that money issued. And I agree with him.
I agree with him
Because
also.
how is it that Fill Abundance, like they've been around for a long time. You're not going to get selections of what you're used to eating.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get either what they have, which is not a supermarket, or what they give you.
Yeah, interesting.
So, and I just want to add to this too. Shout out to Saudia Schuler. I was driving down Broad Street and I saw her new place. And when I tell you the line, it wasn't just wrapped around the block. It was like the width of it. It was like it was wide and long. I could see if it was skinny and long. It was wide and long. It was around the corner, down the block, and around the corner again. It was that many people. I for safety reasons, I couldn't get my phone out because the traffic was like crazy to try to record. But if I had somebody sitting shotgun, I would have definitely got that footage, because she says all the time that she does not get any grant money. This is money from her and her village. And I don't understand why she is not getting more coverage for what she's doing. I just don't understand it. Like, y'all, soon as there's a gunfight, there's a killing, they cover that. But when somebody's like really doing for this city, there's no coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, we've covered her before. Like, it's not saying that independent media doesn't, but mainstream media. And you don't even have to do an interview. Go out there and see that the people are out there, because she doesn't do like the sit down interviews like that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem when it comes to the media as it relates to reporting the stories that's in the city, right? We talk a lot about hyper local focused news, right? And that would be considered hyper local. The problem with I say the niche that we serve is we're able to get those stories that a lot of legacy media won't or can't get or don't even know about, right?
They know.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to get an interview. If you go down there and just see the people, you can't live in Philadelphia and not know this.
But see, that's the thing. If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
If they ain't bleeding, more than likely they don't even care about the story. And Sizzle just came in. We could talk a little bit more about that. But as a journalist, I believe the problem that I have oftentimes is how you discern what's the story, right? And certain journalists take a position that this may not be story worthy enough.
Right.
Right.
But government shutdown.
Yeah.
economic distress. Food stamps have been stopped,
Yeah.
and you have over, I mean, if I had to just guess, it was over 500 people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. And I think it's worthy. I'm not even going to talk about like having her get a key to the city and stuff, because I think she
She
should.
should too. Yeah.
But I'm saying, even on a smaller scale, like, acknowledge what's going on for the people who are giving back to this community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some have. Cindy Bass did shout her out and acknowledge, what SALT is doing for the community. So I think that definitely is a start.
Yeah, but
So,
we need
but
more than Cindy Bass.
yeah,
Which she's not even, as prevalent as she was. But
mhm,
we need, like, Catherine Gilmore Richardson. We need Isaiah Thomas. We need
right,
Council President Kenyatta Johnson. We need everyone talking about the work that she does, that
yeah,
she's doing, and that she continued to do. Which makes me think that it's probably time that we reach out to have her on the show.
mhm,
So if you're asking me who would I like on the show, Saudi.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
Saud. Get Saud up in
yeah,
there for
and
sure.
and if we can, that's major,
Yeah,
because she said it a lot that she doesn't do a
I
lot of
know.
press like
She
that.
doesn't.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah, but
yeah, for
shout
sure.
out to her. All right, well, this next story is something we just talked about with crime and everything that's going on in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
So sadly, nine current and former, collectively nine current and former officers are now facing criminal charges in the alleged misuse of city anti-violence grant for the youth boxing program Guns Down, Gloves Up
Hmm.
here in Philadelphia. There was a $392,000 grant that reportedly saw about $76,000 funneled to those involved. The names that they have involved are Nashid Aki, former captain, is listed among them alongside active officers Brittany Crockett, Daniel Mole, Janae McDonald, Mark DeGenio, and Michael Miner. Again, allegedly, these are the officers that are being investigated for misuse of the grant. Kevin Bethel, he's our commissioner, said, when trust is compromised, we must act decisively. Investigators say that some officers were paid by the program and by the city, and that's a violation of law and policy.
Hold on. So I'm trying to understand what's going on here. So the issue is that they were paid both by the city and the program.
Yes. And they're saying that
They're
they're
being double paid or something like
not,
that.
yeah, double paid, but it's still an investigation. But the grant monies were misused. Yeah.
What does that mean? The grant money was misused.
Well, it's saying that these officers were involved on both sides of this Guns Down, Gloves Up
Mhm.
program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, again, it's still being investigated. So I don't want to,
Yeah,
make
no, for
assumptions.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
all this is legend. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But
Mhm.
they're saying that some of the officers were paid by the program and by the city.
Right.
So
Hmm.
it's pretty much, it sounds like there's a conflict of interest there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sounds like these officers were aware of the conflict of interest or not. But there's somewhere that there has to be a policy that was presented. So it's still under investigation. But the sad part about it is that when these funds come through, now there's going to be even more red tape and
Yeah, that's
things that are going to be hard. We talked about today in one of the breakout sessions about gun violence, and we talked about how, even though we still have a higher rate of gun violence in Philadelphia, this is the first time in years that we've seen a decline
Yeah.
in gun violence. So although the numbers are still high, there's a decline.
Mhm.
So we need to know what made that decline happen and what's the trend. But programs like this are programs that help. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
agree.
So sadly, this is going on, but
Interesting.
I do want to do a follow up just to see what the
Yeah.
outcome is. And honestly, these are people that we would like to come on. Like, I know right now they're under investigation, they can't talk about it possibly, but after the outcome, let's hear what they have to say, and that they can not have it where their names were mentioned in something with, an alleged crime.
Yeah.
So, all right, this last story is again about the shutdown. So I think everybody's been affected in some way or another. Philadelphia International Airport, they're feeling the hit from the federal shutdown. The FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, ordered a 10% cut in flights at 40 major airports, and this includes PHL. Because of the air traffic control shortages, officials warn that it could disrupt travel for more than 5,000 passengers on busy days. So many controllers are currently working without pay. A lot of them are going to work and not getting a paycheck. This is what FAA leader said. So we're seeing signs of stress in the system. So we're reducing flights to help ensure continued safety for the traveling public. Flyers are urged to check their schedules early and expect possible delays. I know a lot of people who were heading out the state and they had to come back home. It was like everything is canceled. So if you know how it is with crazy weather, imagine how it is with this shutdown. But I kind of get it. Like, they got a lot of people, this is really where you overwork and underpaid. They're not getting you the paycheck. And now they're working hard, but they're having one person work two people's jobs.
Yeah. That's why I feel if they're making all of these cancellations, are they doing anything with the price of tickets? Yeah, that hopefully they're
probably not.
They need to be.
Probably
they need to
not.
Be.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't checked. So maybe this is a good time to. I mean, I don't know, but I don't really see that happening. I don't see that happening. So, but that was your good news and your bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
That was your good news and bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy, Charles Gregory, the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful. You want? Yeah, so shit. Let me hear shit.
1, 2.
Yeah, you want? Yep, you want. So we got the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
Lauren Sizzle was definitely in the building. Happy that she's here. And so I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we're just going to talk a little bit more about some of the issues that's around there. I know I want to hear more about the election and some of the things that's been going on. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. We'll be right back, y'all, after this. Let's put on one of our dynamic ladies of Youth Civic News. We'll be right back, y'all.
News, reporter Ella presents a new recipe that can help feed the community. Over to you, Ella.
Thanks, Willow. Now that fall is upon us, what's not a better way to start the fall season than an easy and simple recipe? Pumpkin bread is the most delicious and easiest food you can make for yourself, family and friends, and your community. Take a look. Today we're going to make pumpkin bread, so make sure you screenshot this recipe and let's get started. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. In one of your bowls, mix your flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin pie spice. With your fork, mix. Now with your second bowl, mix your sugar, oil, and applesauce with a whisk. Once everything is mixed together, add your pumpkin and mix again. When everything is mixed evenly, combine both mixtures together. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Now mix evenly until there's no lumps. After that, you want to set that aside and grab your bread pan. Lather some butter all around and add a little flour and spread it around until it looks like this. Now you want to pour the bread batter into the bread pan. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Cut a line in the middle and it's ready for the oven. Make sure you are oven mitts and let the bread bake for 60 minutes. Once the 60 minutes is up, take it out of the oven and let it sit for a few minutes. When the bread pan is safe to touch, use a straight edge to separate the pan and bread. This step is optional, but if you would like, slice the bread into thick slices and it should look something like this. You are all done. Dig in and enjoy your pumpkin bread. This pumpkin bread is the perfect way to feed your family, friends, and your community. Willow, what did you think about this recipe?
I think that this recipe is perfect for the rising fall weather. Substituting the egg with the applesauce is a great option for others with an egg allergy.
Thanks, Willow. I'm Ella Guanzon reporting for Youth Civic News. Back to you, Willow.
We got a lot to cover. So as you're here, Lauren, you're in. I want to talk a little bit more about, this election. You actually been doing a lot of work in the political sector. So I would love to know your take on, you know, or your feedback on this election that just passed. I mean, of course, we got, Larry Krasner retained his seat. We interviewed both Larry Krasner and Pat Dugan. Both was pretty good people, good folk. They shared like interests too, which was pretty interesting. I didn't see too much of a contrast in their positions, but what's your thoughts on this election that just passed? Yeah.
Um, do you mean like something in particular, or
No,
just like the results,
just
or
just the results, the amount of people that voted, which was pretty cool. I didn't follow that output, the amount of people that actually vote, which is good, right? Because we generally don't
Yeah.
have that many people coming out to election. But what's your thoughts?
yeah? And honestly, I would say I think I kind of feel like the people spoke loud and clear,
Mm-hmm.
as to what they wanted to see. We hear a lot about, like, like Sparkle said, my vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I think when you show up to the polls and you exercise your right to vote for whomever you choose to vote for, and you see the results, then you have that verification that your vote does matter. And it just speaks volumes, I think, when we're looking at the results in the different states, the different candidates that won, those that we didn't think were going to win.
Yeah.
There's also some things that I saw that was I think, I don't want to say unexpected, and I'm talking in terms of the New York mayor.
Oh yeah, and Donnie.
Mom
Dami. For that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, in
He's getting a
terms
lot of backlash too. They're
yes,
hating on him.
and I think what I don't like
Mhm.
is, and I'm pretty sure that Mom Donnie knew that this would be coming.
Yeah.
Is that the picture that they're trying to paint of him going forward for the upcoming elections, the midterm elections in 2026. And I'm sure leading up to the presidential election, what the picture that they're trying to paint in terms of the whole Democratic Party when it comes to him, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is sad because I heard some people saying like, oh, well, the same way that he's coming in, he's kind of like a new face. The same way that when Trump came in, he was a new face of the Republican Party. And sometimes, when the new comes in, there is change, and sometimes it's good change, but you don't know that change is going to be good until it actually happens. And apparently the New Yorkers are excited about what's going to come from that because he worked hard. I saw a video that he did when he was just saying, like, I guess his campaign got to a certain point where he was just like, don't donate any more money. Like, when have you ever heard somebody say don't donate any more money?
Applause for that. Oh, that's
he
cool,
said,
man.
just come out and show up and knock on some doors. Like, we have enough money. And I was like, wow. When I heard that, I said, that's major.
How old is he?
He's 30. Is 34?
Right. Yeah.
I think he's like 34.
And I heard stories about his family, like how diverse his family is, the who he married, to his mother, to his father. And there was a meme circulating pretty much saying this is what America should look like anyway. A diverse group of talented folk, and I thought that was pretty good. But I want to read something to y'all that in the midst of his election, Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO and National Director of Anti-Defamation League, he said this, and it was I never seen so much arguing on a post, which was interesting, right? But this is from his. Anyone can go to his LinkedIn page, but he's posted and he said, "In light of Mayor-elect Mandani Long, disturbing record on issues of deep concern to the Jewish community, we will approach the next 4 years with resolve. We expect the mayor of the city with the largest Jewish population in the world to stand unequivocally against anti-Semitism in all its varied forms and support all of its Jewish residents, just as he would all other constituents. In the months ahead, we will hold Mandani administration to the basic standard, and ADL will be relentless and unyielding in our work to ensure the safety and security of all Jewish New Yorkers. We will neither compromise nor relent in our pursuit of our core purpose to protect the Jewish people," which was interesting. And I, and I read that because I was unaware of any rhetoric or any targeting of a particular community by way of Mandani. So I'm just wondering if any of y'all heard that, and what is it that would make him make a statement like that, that he would be so concerned that Mandani wouldn't, do the right thing, so to speak, Yeah.
When did he make that statement? Was it before the election or after?
I actually don't know. It just came through my feed. I could take a look.
Because I thought I heard him saying something when it came to his speech, after he won.
Oh, say 3 days ago. They say 3 days ago.
That had to be after then.
Okay.
Because if it was 3 days ago, that probably was after.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
I thought I thought I heard some. I thought I heard Mamdani saying something at his speech after he won, saying something about the Jewish community. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
And unfortunately, we don't have fact checkers on staff tonight.
Right.
Just want to put that disclaimer out for anybody that is listening. We don't have fact checkers on staff tonight. So we're a little bit slow in getting that information. But I did listen to part of his speech. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Right.
I did see that some people, it was mixed reviews on his speech. You had some people that were excited about his speech and just like fired up. And then you had some people that were like, his speech was very divisive.
Right.
So
Interesting.
Right. And I know Van Jones is somebody that got backlash for saying that he thought his speech was divisive.
He's changed a little. His views of how he used to speak. I see that.
Yeah. And I guess when we get into talking a little bit about Klein when it comes to journalists and all that stuff.
He did write something else, but it's that post right there. But I was surprised. I was surprised that he would be. I don't know. I just haven't been following it, I guess, like I should. And maybe I have to look a little deeper into what was the issue or what was the challenge that Mandani has been talking about that would make him respond like that, right? And so, I don't know. I think it's always been a challenge with this, right? It's always been, a position that there's vitriol from both sides, so to speak, right? Not sure where this is coming from though. So what was you about to say? I didn't mean to cut you off, Spark, there.
No, I was just wondering, did anyone hear about the previous mayor, Eric Adams, because he had a lot of controversy going on with Trump and undocumented immigrants coming. I know that he actually endorsed Cuomo to be,
Okay.
yeah. But the best man won, and it seems like New York is extremely happy from the clips that I've seen. I didn't hear a speech. I definitely heard from people that said I need to listen to it, that it is a good speech, but
Mhm.
I haven't.
I need to
can't-
listen to it.
Yeah, I
too,
can't weigh in.
Mhm.
But it seems like pretty much of the New Yorkers from the clips I saw were pretty much happy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sizzle. I know you was about to say.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Como. Yeah, I think a lot of, well, I was hearing that after he was endorsed by Trump and Elon Musk that he lost even more percentage.
Adams
Wow.
did. Adams or
Cuomo.
Cuomo.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And they said that it probably was something that, shouldn't have happened, but it just pretty much let everybody know what was going on or where he stood from the beginning.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are just, that's when it comes down to people being tired of politics as usual, quote unquote. Like people are looking for something, new. And that's what they were looking for when we got Trump in 2016.
Right.
They were tired of politics as usual. And sometimes, I mean, hopefully Mamdani is who I guess he says he is and who he's pitched himself to be to New York. And the people get what they voted for.
And I think because of his age, they're saying he's relatable. He's energized voters. He has charisma. They want that those young fresh eyes too. Those young fresh ideas. Like I think they're tired of the old time ways and things like that. So I think they spoke loudly. Now we got to see what he does.
Yeah, so I had so I pulled up the platform. This is so anyone who's watching can actually either follow along or see where I got this from. But this is a platform, and understand I didn't vet or anything, but I just was trying to really quickly search Mamdani's platform, right? And I'm on it looks like Zohran for New York City. That's the website that I'm on. All right. And so real quick, it says go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Real quick, it says this is the platform, and I'm gonna just give you bullet points, right?
Oh, that's his campaign
Yeah.
website. Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I'm not sure. It's just, like I said, I don't want to give any false information.
Yeah,
out
I think
there.
that's his campaign website.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. So housing. So on housing, he say freeze the rent, building affordable housing, crack down on bad landlords, and supporting homeowners and ending deed theft. Sounds pretty interesting. Sounds kind of like Philly.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
those things that are on the top of our list.
Yeah. So safety, he has the Department of Community Safety. You can read that. So on this site, this is his campaign site. He got some videos based around it. Affordability, he has city-owned grocery stores, fast fare free buses, and fighting corporate exploitation. All right. Early childhood education, he say no cost childcare. Interesting.
What?
Yeah. Baby baskets for New York newborns and K through 12. I'm sure that's either support or being able to choose. Paying for our agenda, taxing corporations, and the 1%. That's probably where he got a lot of the pushback. And I did see something along the line of hearing that something along the lines of like billionaires were spending almost $100 million trying to make sure that he doesn't get elected, and he got elected anyway. Climate, it says green schools for a healthier New York, LGBTQIA protections. He say healthcare, labor, raising the minimum wage to $30 by 2030. Wow. Can we get 15? Here in Philly? Can we get 15 in here in Philly? Wow, that's
'Cause
heavy.
it costs a lot to live in New
New
York.
York. Okay, no doubt. My cost of living is a little different. But we
But we still need money.
yeah, we're still at like $7 or something like that
Yeah.
for you. Labor regulating delivery apps and protecting delivery workers. Interesting. I wonder what's that about. Regulating delivery apps. Is it something that I don't know or anything that you guys heard from delivery apps?
Like
Um,
DoorDash and
Regulating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a lot that goes on when they're making deliveries and stuff like that. Like, you know, people doing things to food or
Ah.
like, you know, I think it's that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I don't know if it's crimes happening to delivery people.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he was?
No, I didn't read through it. This just bullet points. You guys can actually go to the website is ZOHRAN4NYC.com. This is the platform.
And if I could just add this,
please.
because when it comes to like somebody that's running for any type of office, I've seen these types of campaign websites when they offer these bullet points.
Yeah.
It's the job of the people who are voting for these candidates to research.
Yeah.
Like, you say you're going to do X, Y, and Z, but how?
Yeah.
Because, you know, anybody can say they're going to do something, but just tell me the how. Like,
or
and
have
yeah,
you been showing it? Like, have you been out in the community?
exactly,
Prior to just saying what you're going to do.
Right.
What have you shown before that?
Exactly. I was just getting ready to say that. What have you shown before that?
That's
like,
right.
let your work speak for yourself. Maybe you already did the work, and then I know that you can do it.
Yeah.
So, what I can say is that I've seen. I'm not even going to go into people's names of previous candidates, but I've seen somebody create a whole like dumbed down like version of some of the things that we're seeing put in place now, but it was bullet points of what we're seeing put in now. And like, you know, when I was talking to somebody saying that these bullet points are exactly identical to what this other stuff was going to be done. Yeah, it happened. But they believed the bullet points because it looked more nicer and cuter, and it was like more,
make it shiny, put it in a wrapper and a bow.
Exactly. Just like you said, one of the bullet points you read, it was just like summed up and everything, and it looked nice. But basically, if you went to something else and you read the whole thing, it's like, oh, that's what that is. But it's just abbreviation for something else. So you definitely got to be careful.
Yeah. So I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that, you know, I'm on this website and I'm kind of breezing through it, but at the very least, do your research. You know, websites like this. This is what he stands on, apparently, but good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, not saying him.
Yeah. No,
I'm just saying that any candidate, you know, that you have to vote for.
100%.
That could be somebody running for like the local tax, what do they call them?
Assessment.
Yeah, exactly. That could be that person. Make sure you're looking. Any office.
Yep. And I say that, you know, good, bad, and indifferent. Like, you know, not saying that I'm quote unquote in support of Mondani. Like, it can be a situation where the stuff on here is inaccurate, right? Or it could be stuff on here where we saying like, wow, this is really great information. We need to make sure that we support, right? But in any event, do your research, and if the policies, if the roles, if what he stands for aligns with you, then I always say that's where you go and that's what you stand for. You know, one thing that we always say here, though, we talk weekly is, you know, we're for whoever is doing for the people. You doing for the people, we're going to support you, you know, and that's the most important thing. You working for the people, we're going to support you. And so a couple more things he had on here: small businesses. I guess he's going to support that. Libraries, which is interesting. I don't hear too many people talking about libraries. And last but not least, which is probably where he was getting a lot of the pushback, he actually ran Trump proofing New York City, which is interesting.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't read into like I said. I want you guys to go to.
What did it say?
It say Trump proofing. I'll read a little bit
What,
of
to keep
proofing.
Is that to keep him out?
I don't know.
Keep him out of the. But I mean, if you just look at that, or I guess just to break that down mentally without any like research, I would just think like, because he's infiltrating, he can easily infiltrate the red states because those governors are just handing the states over to him. Just do what you want.
Yeah.
Is that what he's talking about?
You know, I'm gonna share this screen real quick. I'm gonna just read a little bit of it. It says Donald Trump is tearing at the fabric of New York City in his second term. He has deployed ICE agents to pluck New Yorkers from their families. He has sent already high prices skyrocketing with tariffs, and he has threatened vital social services that working New Yorkers rely on every day. Zohran Mamdani will fight Trump's attempting to gouge the working class and deliver a city where everyone can afford a dignified life. He'll ensure our immigrant New Yorkers are protected by strengthening our sanctuary cities apparatus, getting ICE out of all city facilities and ending any corporation, increasing legal support, and protecting all personal data. He'll make NYC an LGBTQIA plus sanctuary city and protect reproductive rights. He'll also protect the workers and ensure our current laws are enforced by increasing the budget of DCWP and what is what that DCWP and an NYC Commission on Human Rights and
that sounds like unions. Is that unions?
Yeah, probably. And then muscling up our law department. So that's what that means, Trump proofing. So again,
consumer and worker protection.
Yeah. So maybe that's what the vitriol is against. Of course, if you are a supporter of Donald Trump, if you potentially are a Republican, you might be for, or you might have issues with him running simply on not just that, but having a bullet point on his campaign, Trump proofing. And I'm sure they feel some type of way about that, right? And so, yeah, interesting. I should, I didn't do the realm. Look, we doing this live and direct while we're on doing a little research on it, right? And so, I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think. Do you think that Mamdani will be a good mayor? I mean, he run 4 years for New York. Is it 4 years for New York?
That's the term.
Yeah, it's 4 years for New York. And so he got 4 years to prove that what he has been running on, he's going to try to execute. A lot of people have faith in him. He's not a Philadelphia mayor, but I mean, we'll see. We'll continue to follow and see if he's doing his due diligence and following what he's been running on. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Was he like counsel? Like, what was he prior to this? I don't know his background.
I don't know his platform either. I mean, what he did prior.
Yeah.
He was mentioning stuff because I know he had worked like in a couple's office that he worked in. He worked in somebody's office.
Yeah, I would need to know more about things that he's already done. I can hear what he says, but I think I like to see what's already like Sizzle was saying. What has he already done? I want his work to speak for itself. I hear you on the projection of what he wants the city to be, but go ahead.
Yeah, he was born and raised in Uganda.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then he moved to New York City when he was 7, graduated from the Bronx High School. Then he got his bachelor's degree in Africana Studies. And then he represented the 36th Assembly District. And he worked as a foreclosure prevention housing counselor, helping low-income homeowners of color. And I thought I heard him say that he was in somebody's office, like he worked You know how sometimes like there'll be like a staffer for like a mayor or something like that. I thought I heard him saying that, but
And I mean, 34. It's like,
Interesting.
he's still young, right?
That's what I'm
Exactly.
like.
It's like,
His resume can't be but so long, especially
right,
in
right,
school and
yeah.
So
I'm looking
Alright.
at some of the people that endorsed him, and one of the groups is the Jewish folk. which
Yeah,
is
I did
interesting.
see that. I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, this is what this is for, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching, we try our best to do our due diligence and our research, so you don't have to do it. If we did it, what's all. So, trying to be a trusted voice for the community will continue. But wow, he's endorsed by a lot of people. Interesting.
that's why he said, "Don't send no more money."
Yeah, he said, don't send any more
When
money.
he said that, I was like,
Wow.
wow.
That's
Wow.
admirable.
It really is. Bernie Sanders, of course.
Yeah.
Bernie.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think they
AOC?
even, I was getting ready to say that they compared him to AOC
Interesting.
because even she, pretty much, I think she said she came from like being like a waitress or something like that
Mhm.
to what
Wow.
she is now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but back to like the takeaways from the election, just I think a lot of people are now starting to have maybe a little bit of hope because like what they feel like what they are going through now could at some point be overturned because they know that there's this trifecta. The Republicans have the Senate, the House, Congress, and they got the Supreme Court in their back pocket. So it's kind of like they feel like they're powerless,
Mhm.
and it's like they feel like it's nothing that they can do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like at that point, it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
So then you have like people who wouldn't typically vote a certain way.
Yeah.
Like they're leaning a certain way because they feel like they have no hope.
Right.
And it's just interesting to see. It's
Yeah.
really interesting to see. And like, Sparkle spent a lot of time talking about the government shutdown,
Yeah.
and hopefully I thought I saw something today that they have been trying to do deliberations throughout the weekend. And hopefully that, will have some type of, expedite something to where we can get past, we can get through all this and hopefully get this country back open.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of pointing fingers at each other about that. You got the Republicans pointing at the Democrats, saying that the Democrats just we got the government. We got the government.
Oh no, I forgot too. I totally forgot.
We got our guest that just came in. She ain't know we was live. It's all good.
I totally forgot too.
I was like,
Go with it.
I totally forgot.
it's all good. But that's what's so special about the show. The show is about family. But I forgot what I was talking about. What was it?
Oh well, we were just
Yeah.
we were talking about the election and like what we can look forward to or the government shutdown ending hopefully sometime and things can open back up and people
This
can
is the longest that I think it's ever.
in history.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You were saying that they pointing fingers at
Oh yeah, that's
people.
what I was saying. Yeah, they pointing fingers. So you got the Republicans pointing at the Democrats saying that they want to do something, but the Democrats are stopping. But of course,
yeah
it's like, well, it's because of y'all that we're doing this in the first place. So I
yeah
don't know. It's one of those things. We just gotta clear this up. We gotta get these people back to work. They're not getting paid.
yeah I've been working on my
Substack.
my project.
Talk a little bit about it. Talk a little bit about it before we go into the next interview. Yeah,
Oh, we can save that.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can save it. All right, cool.
If you want, I don't want to hold up. I don't want to prolong.
No, we good. So why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and get our guests prepared, right? And we'll go
I'm in
to
prolong.
yeah, we'll go to a little break. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick little break so we can get into yeah, some of the things that we've been doing. We're super excited about the work that we've been doing here, especially being able to continue to support the community, right? And give or allow people space. Yeah, I want you guys to go- Stay tuned. It's We Talk Weekly, y'all. We'll be right back. Let me put it- Yeah, we might get some music, but it's all good. We'll be right back, y'all. We talk weekly, it's the vibe we share. Plug in, lean back, feel the air. We talk weekly, let the rhythm flow. From the hard streets to the studio glow. Tune in, feel the pulse of the scene. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. Yeah. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. Yeah. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. Turn it down, we're live tonight. Stories that spark and set minds alight. City beats flow through the stream. Real talk, no cap, it's more than a dream. Mics on fire, we're breaking the mold. Voices rising, life stories told. We talk weekly, it's the vibe we share. Plug in, lean back, feel the air. We talk weekly, let the rhythm flow. From the hardest streets to the studio glow. Tune in, feel the pulse of the scene. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. Yeah, yeah. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. Talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. Talk weekly, it's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly. Yeah, we talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly. Yeah, we talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. Turn it down, we're live tonight. Stories that spark and set minds alight. City beats flow through the stream. Real talk, no cap, it's more than a dream. Mics on fire, we're breaking the mold. Voices rising like stories told. We talk weekly, it's the vibe we share. Plug in, lean back, feel the air. We talk weekly, let the rhythm flow. From the heart of the streets to the studio glow. Tune in, feel the pulse of the scene. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly, we talk weekly, we talk weekly. We talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. We talk weekly. It's more than a show, it's the in-between. Yeah. We in the building. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weekly after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful. Hold on, Lauren. I don't hear you.
On the other one?
Do one more again.
Lawrence.
There you go. There you go. That voice right there. All right, so y'all, we super excited for this particular interview. Yeah, this young lady is, when we talk about friend to the show, that's what we talk about. We talk about friend to the show, right? And so we get super excited about having people who we identify with as family, in this circuit of media, right?
Mhm.
Especially as it relates to independent media, someone who has been doing the work. You know, we love people who's actually doing the work. It's a lot of people who say that they're doing things, but she's really out there grinding, and she's been grinding for a while. She's been, you know, with us in our journey of informing the good people,
Yes.
right? And so with that said, I kind of did a little inch, but I want you to give I know, right? You know, because that's, you know, PLC, that's the homie right there. That's the homie right there. So why don't you let us know, Spark, who do you have today? Who do you have today?
Today we have Tamara Russell. She's also known as POC, POC, Proof of Consciousness. She's the founder and host of Revive Radio. She's a powerhouse journalist, community voice, host on WURD. She's a proud member of WHYY Nice, LinFest, like so many things. Award-winning advocate. Let's delve deep into it. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome.
Shout out to the
Pod.
intros. Yeah, shout out to the intros. I appreciate the
Oh
love,
man,
yo.
how are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. It took a minute, but I'm excited to get here. You
Yeah,
feel me?
it
It be
sure
like
sure
that. I'm
did.
excited to sit here,
Yes.
especially with my guest, sis Lauren. You know, me and Lauren,
Yes.
we had a year together. You know what I'm saying? So
Grinding.
to see you right now is just,
Grinding.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
You know, I'm excited.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So let's jump into it, right? You know, we're going to treat you like one of our guests. We can't treat you like a friend, right? Because we won't get any information out of you, right? We just going to party and BS all day, right? But let's talk some real stuff, some things that's going on. But first, let's talk about your journey in media, right? You know, because you've been around. We see you around a lot. You've been with us in many cohorts of media.
Mhm.
You know, you've been through the circuit. You're part of the circle of influencers, I believe, in Philadelphia. I could say that as it relates to moving the needle and getting the information out there, getting the word out there is, you know, one of those things. Pun intended. You on WRD word, right? Word radio, but you speaking a good word also. So, with that said, what actually propelled you to get into this media space?
To get into it as far as the capacity that I'm in right now,
Yeah.
it's really because of the people,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
The community, the support, the love, really helped me to grow Revive. And once Revive started growing, I always say this, it became something that was so
Yeah.
much bigger than me.
Yeah.
So it was like, I gotta keep going. Like what I'm doing is actually making an impact. What I'm doing is actually making a change. It's doing something for the culture of the
Yeah.
city. You know what I'm saying? And it's appreciated. And once I felt that appreciation, with love and respect, it was just something like I felt like it was something I had to keep doing. But initially, it was because I found my voice. You know what I mean? Like it was that spark of me like figuring out who I was as a young adult, and then also who I was as a woman.
Right.
And when I had that opportunity of finding my voice specifically on Word Radio through my mentor at the time, Solomon, it became something that was like, inevitable. You know, it was like who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I want to do. And that's how Revive became alive. For sure.
So, for those who don't know what Revive is, why don't you tell them, explain to them exactly that media piece?
Yeah, for sure. Revive is a media production company. It's something that we started off as a radio show. We were an internet radio platform. And from there, we grew into media production. And that's something that really became a storyteller.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something how we became a storyteller in a space where we started to tell stories of different people and the things that they're dealing with and growing through. Because when it comes down to a city like Philadelphia, things are happening very rapidly.
Yes.
You know, change is happening every day. So being able to be a part of that ecosystem of telling these stories is something that I fell in love with for sure.
You know, you tell your stories and you do it unapologetically. And I would like to know what empowers you to be so unapologetic when either amplifying the people or taking your position in, you know, the words that you have to make sure that you convey. What pushes you to do that? What gives you the strength to do that?
Shout out to Black women. Shout out to Black women who
Hold on, let me
actually.
be I come from
Shout out
a
to
Black
Black
woman.
women who actually want to see you win. Shout out to Black women who actually want to, for you to walk through these doors and be your authentic self and one day be where they are, right? So shout out to Chandra Clark from WHYY, who was once the CEO of WHYY. And this is how I got my start with WHYY. So I had did a piece during the uprising with George Floyd. I was on 52nd Street, and I was telling the voices of people, but I was doing it in a way in which it was relatable to my urban audience. You know what I mean? And I'm saying urban specifically because I'm talking about WHYY now.
Gotcha.
I don't ever want to put my people in a box, right?
Understood.
But when it comes down to me telling that story, I was in a space where I'm like, are you mad or not? And you know, that caught the attention of people, like actually wanting to know what people are mad about, and in a space of how they articulate themselves, as far as like, yeah, I'm pissed off, but I'm pissed off because of this. And that is what's going to you know, ignite that change or spark that change that we're looking for. So I had did that piece, and shout out to Flood, Christopher Norris. He heard it, and he hit me up in a DM on Facebook, and I was like, I don't know if this one real, you know what I'm saying? But I responded, and then he was like, yo, can you get me another one by Tuesday? And this was on a Friday. I was like, say no more. I did another one. Boom. Next, you know, I've been on WHYY. I was doing segments, doing this, doing that. Like, it just flooded. So like being able to be my authentic self, and the reason why I brought up Sandra is because when I went to pretty much pitch myself for my segment, Mad or Not, I came in the office or in the workspace because we were still on Zoom. I came into that workspace not being myself. I thought I should turn into that NPR voice. I started to talk like NPR, and that pause came, and it was like, yeah, no, we want the girl that was like, yep, to the yep. And I was like, for real? And they was like, that's what we want. And every segment on WHYY started with the yep.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that authentic self in terms of especially the radio voice or the radio personality. Where does it come from, where especially smaller independent outlets feel that they have to a degree emulate? Don't worry about it. It's all good. There you go. No doubt. Why do you believe smaller organizations feel the need to emulate what larger organizations have to do, even to the Queen's speech, so to speak? What is that we have that we need to do that? What do you think that is?
I think millennials are the last generation that actually do that, to be fully transparent. And that's because we were raised, in a space where we need to copy the person in front of us in order to just achieve the same successes they did, so when we come into a space of media journalism, we want to perform as media and journalists do, especially when we don't have that capital J or that complete journalism background. So we want to emulate what we see in order to be able to be respected when we walk in these rooms. So I think millennials are the last people that do that, because the next generation Z, they have been themselves the entire time, especially when they come on a podcast, how they do it, becoming influencers. They're a different vocabulary and definition when it comes down to being creative. But I think that's literally just because that's just how we were raised. But also, like talking with, Lauren, me and Lauren have been in these NPR spaces pretty much this entire season of 2025. And especially for Black women, right? It's kind of hard for us to get into these spaces of public media and to also do what we do and make it very relatable. So it's like, for us, we want to make sure that we are serving the audience in which we're having the conversation with, but we want to make sure that we're being our authentic selves and doing that. And that's something that we learned. And shout out to Pointer. These are the things that we learned by being able to be in these spaces and representing ourselves, because majority of the time when me and Lauren walked into these spaces this past year, we were the only two Black women, and if we wasn't, it was maybe an Indian woman, maybe a Chinese guy, and that represented the the diaspora.
Round of applause for that, right? Go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, you just really had me thinking, because Sparkle and I, we were at Klein Camp today at Temple, and a couple of the courses that they had that we were in, they were still talking about how like they just don't accept like creators in, if they're not traditional journalists. They're still struggling with that idea. And if you look at the way like content is going now, it's leaning toward that direction. Like, not everybody is going to college and getting a 4-year degree in journalism. And it's so many different people who are not like even wanting to, like, they're not even interested in like NPR and like any of that stuff. They're not going to a website to read anything that they're reporting. They're going to TikTok to look at a creator and what they're creating, and
Get the
that's and get their
news
news and stuff from there.
Mhm.
Like, but they're still struggling with that.
information.
And they have an attitude or like, because what I'm seeing now is that they're trying to incorporate creators in the newsroom, like influencers and creators in the newsroom, to work with them.
They have no choice.
Right,
They have no
right, and
choice.
to pay them
Mhm.
to put their information out there so that the newsroom will grow.
And you know that's not nothing new, right? That's
No,
called,
it's not
that's
at
called
all.
the what news and information community exchange. You know, like
Girl.
that's something we've been doing for about
Yeah.
5-6 years now.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
real.
nothing
Girl.
new. We are the pilot
That's
of
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
we already knew that
Mhm.
5-6 years ago that this is something that you need to do. You know,
100%,
they
yeah.
called it community reporting at that
Mhm.
time to make it sound special.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
appreciated that,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
that introduced me to what community engagement, as far as journalism, the aspect of community engagement in journalism is. So I appreciate that, right? But at the same time, that incorporation is something that's been
Mhm.
done. I think when you say struggling with it, for sure, we are also
Yeah.
a product of what it means to
Yeah.
struggle with, you know, the
100%.
idea of incorporating these how would I say, unusual, like, you know, thoughts and ideas into a traditional newsroom.
Yeah.
And that's why when I also walk into these spaces, I call myself an untraditional journalist, because like I don't have a capital J, right? And then I also have not a lot of my friends, the people that I grew up in this media space,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Besides Lauren, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have a journalism degree either. We just know how to do what we
That's
do,
right,
and we
that's
have a special niche and talent
Yeah.
about what we do. So I think that when it's about passion, I think it is completely different.
You know what's interesting about that is you know, I generally say the same thing. You know, I pause.
And I say that with respect, Lauren.
Yeah.
Shout out to your capital.
No, we
No,
all-
but for a long time I was that same way.
Mhm.
And what made me go back to school was George Floyd. And I was like, I just cannot any longer sit here and like I was like, I have to do something. I was like, I have to, if that's what it takes, because I wasn't respected as a journalist. And I was like, if that's what it takes, me going to school to get a degree so that I can speak up for my people, I'm going to go back to school. The same way you went out on that corner and said, you know, are you mad or not?
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
both journalists.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We're both journalists. The same way that girl that was there she filmed George Floyd and she won a Pulitzer Prize, which is the top award that you can win as
all
a
go for
journalist.
it.
She wasn't a journalist, but she
Exactly.
won the award that every journalist dreams of.
about. Yes, agreed.
And it's like, you don't need a degree to do that.
Go ahead, Spark. I know Spark been waiting like, yo, I want to see.
Oh, I'm
you.
sorry.
No, I just I love the passion, and
Mhm.
I think in so many ways that the world loves the authenticity of people now. You know, Cardi B, for instance, people love the fact that she wasn't just
I
you
love
know
Cardi B. That's
yeah
my girl.
she spoke her mind. You know what I mean? And I think the cookie cutter way of way the news would cover stories and things like that, that's not what the people want anymore. And I think we were talking about the new mayor that's in New York.
Yeah.
The fresh eyes, the new ideas, and the way that the millennials is at the end, and the new generation is taking over.
For sure.
And that's it.
I appreciate the new mayor in New York as far as just shaking things
Yeah,
up, you know,
yeah.
rattling the table. I kind of wish our mayor would do a little bit more of that. She's standing on business, but I just think there's a little bit more that she can stand on based on what she ran on, if that makes sense. And then I just think that when it comes down to journalists shaking the table, this is now our time, right? We have about 3 more years of this particular administration, and there's so much happening. And I think we need to do our best at covering all of it, from what's happening into the Caribbean, what's going on in Nigeria, what's actually happening with the federal shutdown, what's happening, you know, the fact that we just got 3 judges retained in the state of Pennsylvania, you know, like, we needed that. We really needed that, especially for me, you know, as an environmental journalist, you know, we needed that for sure, because 2 of them are backing what it means to stand on the, like, we're not doing fracking here. You're not about to come
Mhm.
build a bunch of data centers in the state, like those kind of conversations. So yeah, like I think that as journalists, we need to continue to shake the table and rattle the table, but also we need to understand that we're disposable. You know what I'm saying? In this
Mhm.
time too, right?
Yes.
And I think that a lot of us are trying to keep our head above water as we are trying to tell these stories and keep our mental health going and flowing, because like you got people like Don Lemon who top on CNN
Yep.
gone. You got Joy
Yeah.
Reid, NBC, MSNBC
Mm.
gone, you
Yeah.
know, and now they're doing what we're doing. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying? To
right.
keep it
But
going.
that's what I was
Like,
going to ask you. Do you think that there could be like a switch up that they need to do with mainstream media? Like I do see some of the news rooms now trying to add some type of little flavor, and they're
Yeah.
trying to
Mhm.
do things around the things in Philadelphia, or they're trying to be more relatable to like what, you know, freelancers and you know the I'll call it the lowercase j's are doing. You know, but what do you think? What do you think could be a change that could make it where it's not what used to be, but what's now?
well, basically what Lauren said, the event that you all went to today, you know, like
Mhm.
having those conversations and then actually doing something about the fact that you are struggling. Like you can talk about struggling, but how are you going to actually, you know, make it an applicable step to do
Mhm.
something different about how you're struggling? So I think that when it comes down to like the next step of how we grow as journalists, we just have to adapt to what's going on. I'm actually shout out to Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. They invited me to actually be on a panelist next week on the 19th, or next week on the 19th. I'm sorry, my dates are off.
Mhm.
And then we're going to be talking about what it means to incorporate artificial intelligence into journalists and
Yes.
journalism. And I'm not necessarily 100% on it. You know, like I go back and forth with it. I struggle with it a lot. One, because of the environment, and two, because of what we talk about, authenticity when it comes down to us being a storyteller and us
Yeah.
writing our own stories and us telling our own
Yeah.
stories and creating, you know, the different images and videos and things that we do. So I think keeping it real is going to be the next biggest struggle for us, is keeping it real, because everyone is going to start to adapt this artificial intelligence, and then we're going to have a very hard time to figure out what's real and what's not.
You know what? I think this is a good moment to pivot real quick, because you brought that up, because we're working in a space
Because I
where
know that's your sugar honey iced tea, right?
Yeah.
I did that on purpose. I wanted to get you going.
Right.
round of applause for being a journalist that you are, right? No, but I do want to have a question. I do have a question as relates to when someone says, right, AI, right? What's the first thing that pops in your mind when someone says AI,
Artificial.
artificial? Now, when we say AI in journalism, what pops in your mind?
Artificial.
Artificial journalism is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're using AI to help you do something that you could do yourself, but you're choosing to use AI to help advance it or
Mhm.
make it faster.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So when someone has the ability, or when you see something that's shaking up an industry, right? When you see something that's shaking up an industry the way that it is, right? And you have people whom are saying that if you don't use AI, someone who's using AI potentially may take your job. What does that make you feel, or how does that make you feel?
Honestly, as a Black woman, that's been my challenge for a very long time. So okay, whoop-de-doo,
Yeah.
you know, but at the same time, like I feel like me being who I am, nobody can duplicate, no robot can do that, no, you know, open AI, meta bot, whatever you want to call it, can actually do that. But yes, you know, we see it right now that's happening in the music industry. You know, they're creating these artists who are
That's crazy.
billion dollar
Mhm.
artists, and they're creating songs that Summer Walker, you know, her and Lauryn Hill can sing with their eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. They don't, it's cheaper to keep them. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get them. But at the same time, you have to make sure that the mass is with it, right? Like if we don't support it or we're not with it, you know, I think that is where we are as people. We have to make a decision of how we are going to allow this to be incorporated into our world, into our society, into our everyday life. Like we still have a choice for sure.
So if you had to make a case to use it, or someone had to make a case to use it, because I'm not promoting AI at all, this is just open conversation, right? If someone had to make a use of AI, or make a pitch to you with AI in order to use that, what would that look like? or to be comfortable with it, because we are talking about trusting.
Yeah, I'm
what
not.
that
I'm
is.
not uncomfortable.
Not saying that you are. It's just a
Mhm.
pitch, right? So
Mhm.
this is a conversation, open conversation. If there was a pitch that someone had to make to you in order for that to sit well with you, what would that look like?
It would have to have something about, we can help you raise this much capital.
Mhm.
Like, it had to be something around funding, because that's one of the things that we're only short on is funding, because we are an independent media production company. So making sure that we keep the lights on every day is the biggest thing that I will have a conversation with OpenAI about,
Mhm.
period. I don't need you to help me create. I don't need you to help me tell stories. I don't need you to help me have a conversation
Mhm,
with
mhm.
another human being. I've been doing that before you even, before you were out in the open. You've
Yeah.
been around for some time now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
before you was out in the open,
Mhm.
AKA pun intended, OpenAI.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's what most, honestly, if I'm being transparent, that's what most people are now using it for funding, right?
Mhm.
How explain to me how to support my business.
Mhm.
Explain to me what I can do to generate more funding to support my independent business or whatever,
Exactly,
right? So
exactly.
kudos.
Yeah.
Now let's pivot into where you are today. Some of the things that you're doing today, and I always do this, right? I'm gonna be transparent with this. Wow, I love you to death, right? Because
Me
when we
too.
talk about being authentic, our authentic selves, right? We our community generally have this black eye when it comes to acknowledging others, right? Has a black eye when it comes to acknowledging and giving compliments, right? One of the things that in giving you your flowers that I always do, especially on public platforms, is because there was a moment that I was thrown into or thrust into a situation where I had to pretty much host this major event, right? I think you know what I'm talking about. And one of the things that you said to me
How
was,
many? I can't count, Charles.
Come
Like,
on
what
now,
are you
man.
talking about?
Come on, we talk. All right. So so it was a B conference, right? It was we had Yandy there. It was a
Mhm.
lot of people, and this was one of the moments that stood out for me because for some reason I was really nervous that day. Don't ask me why. Things wasn't right. Things wasn't lining up. Had outfits wasn't working. I had to change outfits, a whole bunch of stuff, right? But out of the tons of people that was there, the room was full. Yandy there. I'm about to interview Yandy in addition to Tamika Mallory, right?
Mhm.
Both big voices in
Yes,
themselves.
yes.
But I was very, very out of sorts. But it was because of you. You yelled out in the audience and you was like, "This is your moment." And that put me right back in check.
Mm-mm.
And so because of that, right, that put me,
We talking love and hip hop, Yandy. This is Charles's
Yeah.
moment, y'all.
but I have to acknowledge and give you your flowers for that, because when you talk about, people supporting each other, you have always done it. Of course, we do it to
Sure.
you and we love you for that. But one of the things that I felt was very important was just the fact that you acknowledged something and it was received, and it had me pivot the way that I needed to pivot to do what I needed to do.
Sure.
Nothing was written down. I was thrown in it. Yo, I need you to do this, right? So I didn't have anything prepared, no questions prepared. I just did what I do, right? And you helped me do that. So
And can I add just a little
Awesome.
spice to
yeah,
it?
sure.
Charles, when he says he was put on the spot, he was put on the spot, you know what I mean? And it was maybe a good 15, 20 other journalists
Yeah.
in there trying to get these interviews. And I mean, we bum rushing trying to make sure we be the first ones, because they only had a certain amount of time to do this. And when you backstage trying to get something done, you got to be maybe the first two or you ain't getting nothing. And it was like, Charles, he's up, red carpet, everybody move. And everybody else hating. We
yeah, I
still trying to
remember
put our
that.
cameras out there, trying to put our
Yeah.
microphones in his light, you know what I mean? And I was like,
Yeah.
nah, this is on Charles, do this. I was like, yo, it's your time, it's your moment. And he killed that, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
he
So
did.
I needed to add that space to it, because Philly is a doggy dog city, you feel me? So the fact that you showed up in front of the rest of us, you know what I'm saying, that was really big for me.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
doing
for sure.
that.
For
So
sure. I won't forget that
acknowledge
moment either.
I won't forget it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, that's important to give,
Because
people
that
the
was
flowers.
Tamika Mallory in her heat, you know what I mean? When
Yes.
she first
Yeah, I
got
remember
started.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. I would never forget that. Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. So tell us, because we haven't really gotten a chance to talk about, POC as the environmental journalist.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. What got you inspired to do that?
Shout out to WRD for giving me a chance. So yeah. Charles Ellis is my predecessor. If you know Charles Ellis, he's a big voice here in the city of Philadelphia. And he was about to retire. And I was doing a lot of fill-ins where I was being, the guest host on people's shows when they were taking vacation and things like that. And I was doing that for some time now. And they were looking for another host to replace Charles. And it was like, yo, like you
Not
are
me, y'all. Not me.
Oh, Charles Ellis. Charles Ellis. And Jamira walked up to me and she was like, yo, like, I know that you have a voice. I know that you have a platform. I really want to challenge you to step in this space to learn a little bit more about, how you can bring this conversation as far as relatable to how the environment is actually affecting our people. You tell these stories every day, but you're not telling it in a way in which, we can bring that climate justice, climate crisis conversation all together. And, it was a challenge that I really just wanted to take on. And I accepted it. And from there, I've just been in that bag as far as hosting Eco Word. I think this is my third year hosting Eco Word. And that's every Friday on Word Radio. Can I shout it out? Oh, every Friday, 96.1. I'm starting at 10 a.m. So yeah, in that space, I have grown to do so many different things as far as just learning not just necessarily how to break it down, that when it comes down to environmental justice, climate crisis, and climate action, it's not just about going out and hugging a tree. You know what I mean? It's like really about when it comes down to food deserts, our water, our air quality, the food that's in our poppy stores, just like the little simple things that we're dealing with on a daily basis, the construction that they happen, at a certain time of day, you know what I mean? Like noise pollution is a real thing too. It really messes up your mental health. And we deal with that a lot in different spaces and places of the city. I advocate for trash removal and, junk removal in different sections of the city. Like I just had a conversation with the commissioner of sanitation on Friday to talk about the fact that they're now just opening a site in the northwest section of the city, which has been a dumpster, for a minute now, where people just go up to the northwest, northeast and just dump things off, do their junk removal and stuff like that. So being able to have that space and talk about those things is real. And this is something that I was able to talk to them about last year, 24, and then to bring it full circle in 25. It's like, okay, y'all really gonna do what y'all said y'all was gonna do. So shout out to the sanitation commissioner.
So how did that feel since we're talking about sanitation, how did it feel when the sanitation workers went on strike?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah. So what was that like for you?
For me personally, as just a resident and taxpaying citizen myself living in West Philly, I was pissed off. You feel me? I live in an apartment building, so like the trash that was just like piling up on my block was just outrageous. But as far as a journalist doing the stories, I wanted to put a lot of pressure on the Office of Clean and Green, which is a new office that was just built or put together or I would say created under the Parker administration. Shout out to Director Carlton Williams. He pretty much, was as far as open and relatable as much as possible as he could be throughout that session. But it really was just like supporting the, workers. I supported the workers wholeheartedly because I live in Philly, and two, I want to make sure the people who are doing the work in the city of Philadelphia is getting what they owe. Their value is definitely something that should be respected. So I still with the workers on that beat. But also when it came down to making sure that we had a transparent conversation, I did have a transparent conversation because, it is about checks and balances and it is about law and order. So even though we as people, we do have, opinions and thoughts, we still have to understand how a city is like a city has to work. It has to be some type of structure.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think today's media has consciousness? That's
a great question. It depends on the type of media that you are indulging in, you know what I'm saying? Like social media, we got
let's go with the social media. Like, do you think that, I know that a lot of times, like even today with Sizzle and I, when we went to the client camp, that they were just talking about media literacy and how, memes are like the new way to get attention and to, you got the microwavable minds. Like people got ADD now, especially just because of social media. Like, as I've mentioned before, the way the media is being delivered is totally not of the yesteryears. So how can we have it as a more conscious media where we're not just, like immune to it,
To answer your original question, I think it's 50-50. Does the media have consciousness in it? Yes, I think it's 50-50. And the reason why I
Mhm.
say that is because there are people there that are actually seeking to
That's
make
right.
sure they are telling the truth. They're seeking to debunk misinformation and disinformation, so, or debunk, I'm sorry, disinformation and misinformation. So when it comes down to, making that choice to be a journalist that is telling real, truthful, raw stories, that is a conscious decision that you have to make. But when you're doing it for likes, clicks, retweets, reposts, and all of those things, no, I do not think that is a display of consciousness in a way in which you are trying to do it for the people because you're doing it for some type of camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? So I think that separates the two. And that's why I say 50-50. But also that is a strategic plan, because that strategic plan, as far as doing it for the likes, the clicks, the retweets, and all that stuff, is a way for you to be seen, be known, be heard, get
Pull you
paid, get
in.
the advertisers, the marketers, the
Mhm.
brand deals, all of those things. So it is really just about your intentions on
Yeah.
how you want to actually display media. If you want to
Right.
display conscious media, cool. Or if you want to just entertain people with the media that you're displaying, that's cool too. And that's why it's really on the person of how they indulge, how they receive it, what they do consciously once they get it. Once you get the conscious media, how are you consciously now applying that to your life? Once you get the entertainment media, how are you consciously applying that to your life? So it still goes down to the person who's consuming the actual product at the end of the day.
Yeah. The paradox of that is that, doing it consciously, when you're trying to give that narrative or trying to create that story or tell that story, you still have those who, if you're trying to seek any type of support, the one thing they want to see is how many clicks and followers and supporters you have. And so you're stuck in this paradox or this challenge of, do I do something to get more people to like to click,
Yes.
or do I stay authentic
Mhm.
to myself and do it without regard?
And it
to-
works. Look at
and-
you. Look at
I-
us. Look at
I-
we.
yeah,
It
true,
works.
true,
You know what I mean?
true. But no, to that point though, it's kind of like when we're trying to disprove or make sure that there's no more misinformation out there, and we're talking about that's what's going on. Then you had the people that's not listening to, well, what's real.
Oh, we gotta work
because they want-
harder
you
for
gotta work
sure.
hard,
We
no
gotta
doubt.
put that
Mhm.
that sweat equity for
Absolutely,
sure. Our
absolutely.
sweat equity bucket
I
is
love
gonna look
that.
completely different. We
Yeah.
gonna have gallons on gallons of sweat
Yeah.
equity. I understand that,
Yeah.
but that's where the blessing and the rewards come in. That's
100%.
when the grace and the
Mhm.
abundance of love come in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Mhm.
we can walk into a bar and don't gotta pay nothing. We can walk into an event and everybody's screaming like, "Yo, how can I help you? Try this on, spread it." Like, you know what I mean? Because of what we do. And there's certain people that can't do that. You can have 1 million followers and
That's right.
you walk into a space, everybody
Mhm.
like, bro, I don't care,
Mhm.
bro. Move. Like,
That's real.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, it really just depends on who you are and how you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely agree with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there are spaces in order to get to that bag, they can be
Yeah.
like, bro, I need you to get 100K more people in 5 days, and I'm like, that ain't gonna happen, bro. That is just not gonna happen. And I'm gonna have to be real with myself and be real with you. And if you're gonna buy into or invest into whatever I have going on, you gotta invest into what you see, because what you see is what you're gonna get. And I'm not about to sit here in front of you and act like I got this, and then you expect me to keep showing up as that.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting over here burnt out, broken
Yeah,
and bent.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. And as a young entrepreneur, I had to learn that lesson a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So it is a game, as far as like playing the chessboard. Like we ain't out here playing no Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? We're on this chess right now. So strategically, how we're moving type vibes.
Yeah. You're really good at what you do.
Thank you.
And I love how you move. What's the future for media like ours? Like, where do you think we go next, or where you think we should go next?
That's a great question, Charles. Like a great question. I've been asking myself that for a very long time. And it's crazy because like as a business owner, I am now looking at things a little bit more politically, right?
Mhm.
Because in different political climates, my business is thriving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in different political spaces, I have to think as an entrepreneur and now start to think more about these 7 streams of income. You know what I mean? So I think that being an entrepreneur and creating spaces in general is going to get a lot harder, but over time it will get easier. So this goes back into those you know, when you first got started, those first 2 years, and you feel
Yeah.
like you was grinding, like this is that period of time again.
Mhm.
Just simply because of the political season that we're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't necessarily believe or want to back the things that we're doing. One, because of the color that we have, the
Yeah.
color skin that we have, and then two, because of how raw and authentic that we're
Yeah.
doing it. You know what I mean? So I think that we have to stay down and true to ourselves to really understand if this is what we want to continue to do. And I think that the survivors are going to survive, and the people who were once doing it for the giggles and retweets and the
Yeah.
likes or whatever, you know what I mean, they're going to fall through the cracks for sure. And I'm not hating or wishing that on anybody,
Yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
just going to be something that's going to show. Because survivors going to survive, period. So
Mhm.
I think that the next space for media like ours is just going to be a bunch of survivors continuously telling true raw stories that people want to listen to.
I love that. Real
Mhm.
quick, let me do this little station ID because we kind of missed it. We talk weeklies after the talk of WPPM Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady
and the
Sparkle.
beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
POC. my fault. POC, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah. So moving forward, right? What's the legacy that you want to leave? You know, POC in the building. What's the legacy that you want to leave?
You know, you're never too young to think about these things, but I haven't spent too much time thinking about the legacy too much, because I'm such a my sister has instilled in me about staying present, right?
Shout out to
So
your sister. Give her a round of applause,
I think the legacy would be something that's written itself. You know, Maktub, shout out to my sister Stone. I think it's just something that's already written. Like
Yeah.
my legacy is just something that is going to spill through others.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be something that I necessarily did,
Mhm.
you know, to be
Mhm.
like, this is what I'm gonna do. That's going to be planted in
Yeah.
everyone's mind forever. You know, I don't think that that's what it's going to be like. I just think that the consistency,
Yeah.
the repetition, and how I show up is just something that's just going to be able to spew through others. And I think that is going to be the legacy. To answer the question off the top of the dome, but I
No,
don't
I
really
got
think
you.
about that too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that I want you to peel back the layers with, because there has been some challenges, especially in Philadelphia, as it relates to Black media, right? What do you think can pull those pieces back together? Do you think there can ever be this, you know, strategic, concise movement together to push for that potential support for Black media, or do you think it will always or forever be divided when it comes to certain narratives? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to happen again. Millennials are just a different breed of people, and we are in the space, like we're the adults now. We're throwing the cookouts and
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we are in that space now where we have to make that call
Yeah.
to show like this is not what it is, and
Yeah.
this is what it is, like as far as what we should be doing,
Yeah.
or you know, what we need to be doing in order to make a transition that we're looking for. So I think that when it comes down to that camaraderie or that collaboration and that overall like community that you're talking about, I think it will start with us continuously showing the representation of unity, you know what I mean? And that means continuously having these conversations where
Yeah.
we can invite one platform to
That
another
part.
platform
Yep.
and have a conversation,
Mhm.
or when we're in the same room and you're on the red carpet and I'm not the star, you know,
Right,
this
right.
your
Mhm.
time, baby.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like we can do that and not feel like I'm taking from you and you're taking from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, or speaking to continue to speak our names when we're not in the room, you know, or, you know, making sure that we are each other's reference, a continuous
That's right.
reference for each other.
That's
You
right.
know, I think that is the next step that we need to take as
Yeah.
us being the aunties, the uncles down in that space. And also doing a lot more conducting and example of leadership, right? We need to show what it means to take charge in rooms, like not necessarily showing up and sitting in the back and just waiting for somebody to call our name, like us being like, when somebody say, got any questions? We got questions. I got a
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
She
yeah.
got a question. You know what I mean? Like, also being in the space where we are representing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to bring up because we just, you know, wrapped up an election, but we need to represent ourselves more than just when it comes down to election season, when it just comes down to voting. You know what I mean? There's other things other than a vote, and I'm a huge believer in voting, don't get me wrong when I
Yeah.
make this statement, but there's other things other than voting that makes our voices heard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that just making sure we as a generation, as a collective community, collaborators come together and actually make those things happen.
I 100% agree with you. I think that's why we already I think we get it.
Yeah.
I think we get it. I mean, it's like I'm beating a dead horse talking about the need for collaboration and partnership and continue. Even when you say, is it all right for me to say absolutely? Like, it's enough room for everybody here. Their market might not be our market, so it's okay, right? It's okay to enhance and uplift.
But we got to be honest too. So
True.
It may be enough room for everybody, but we also got to say, like, bro, this ain't your lane. This talent may not be the talent right now, or like maybe you should try that other thing that you do. Like we have to do that, because if we don't do that, we're going to continue to have more podcasters and plumbers, bro. Like, go be a plumber. You don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to continue to have more people that want to be influencers than electricians. Like, we don't need that, bro. Like, so having that conversation with each other, and then also doing right by each other. You know what I mean? If we're going to collaborate, do right by me. Hold yourself accountable while I'm holding myself accountable, and allow me the respect to hold you accountable, and vice versa. You feel me? So
So for those who's watching, what does that look like then, right? What would holding another person accountable by way of the ecosystem or the construct that you're talking about, what would that look like?
Emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
And a lot of people don't have
and that's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And it may sound basic, and it may sound like, oh, here we go with that again, but it's the real. Like, if I'm able to walk up to you and tell you, like, yo, Charles, this ain't it, that ain't it, and you should consider doing this. I'm not telling you what you do, but I'm saying you should consider it. Ask some advice from sister to brother. This is what you should be doing. You feel me? And you accept that as a space, like, yo, she's just trying to lend me an ear, let me know some things that she see in her world that I may not see through my vision right now. You know what I'm saying? And then it's something that I do need to work on. And I needed that to come from somebody outside of my intrusive thoughts. You feel me? And the intrusive thoughts is what creates once you become in a space, once you get into a space where you do not allow the intrusive thought to win, that's when you see the emotional intelligence really starts to grow, and you start to gain value into how you receive and how you respond to things, for sure.
Yeah, you too damn deep, man.
Awesome.
You too damn deep. You too. Real quick, when's your birthday? What's your sign?
April 1st. I'm an Aries.
Y'all too. April 1st, April 2nd.
Oh, for real?
I'm trying to tell
you. Lying.
April 2nd.
I never knew that. Wow. His birthday's April 2nd.
Y'all too.
I never knew that.
But that's why I'm like, yo, I feel connected to you.
Wow.
You talk like I talk.
I was
like
2 minutes away. I was 11:58. I was on
That's
my way to you.
wow. That's
Wow,
crazy.
you almost made it.
That's what I'm saying. I was on my way to you.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, shout out to POC. That's my sister.
I did
right
not
there.
know that. That is
Neither did
crazy.
I. That's
That just
what
made the
I'm saying.
connection
Like,
even
ask her about her birthday. Someone told me to ask you about that.
But I wasn't trying to be too deep, because I don't want to go over.
No, I got no.
You know what I'm
I got
saying?
you.
Like,
No.
No, but I'm saying,
It's tongue in cheek. What I'm saying. It's
yeah, no,
tongue-in-cheek.
I'm not
I
saying
got
that for you
And
or
it's the
anybody in the
passion.
room. That too,
Got
but
passion.
also it's like
Yeah.
we as journalists, when we do have these type of conversations, we do have to do it in a way in which we're spilling these words that are relatable. You feel me? Like, we don't want to have these conversations where we're just talking amongst ourselves, So that's why we encourage you all to click, type in your comments, engage in what we got going on, so we can make sure that you're being heard, and so you can be a part of the conversation.
Because you don't get that in mainstream.
Exactly.
They don't care what you say. They don't care what you think. They're not going to
Exactly.
comment.
And we don't know
nothing.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't know. I don't know if y'all claim to know everything, but I don't know everything.
I know I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I do research while I'm live. So what does this mean?
I do too. I do too.
I just did it, right? Real quick, I want to back up to something you said, because you mentioned your Don Lemons and your joint, John Reed. You have people that was in that ecosystem that looked down on the influencer, that looked down on the independent journalist, right? And so how do you now accept, those who were in major mainstream media trying to come down to a space that they pointed fingers at, and how and to that point, someone that's from a particular independent media that tried to get and was gate kept, right? Got the gatekeepers. How do you prevent them, or how do you give them solace to not feel some type of way because of that?
That's a great question. And Charles, I grapple with that a lot, like
I'm just
every day. And it's not even just like former mainstream media journalists. It's also the comedians,
Yep.
the rappers,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
the actresses, you know, the ex-NBA players and football players. Like it's
Mhm.
all of that at one, you know,
Yeah.
being able to like, all right, I'm retired. Let me hit up ESPN and get $1 billion deal. And now,
Mhm.
you know, like I'm just doing my thing, you know,
Mhm.
like what,
Yeah,
dog?
yeah.
You know, where was your grind at? Like you
Yeah.
already had your career over there. Now you coming up in my career, you know,
That's
like
right.
so I
Exactly.
grapple with that a lot, but I'm not a hater. Like I'm not a hater at all. Except for my friend Jake Paul. Like, nah, but I'm playing. I'm not a hater at all. But so I'm not in that space and where I'm like trying to complain because you know, again, like what I do is what I do, and I don't necessarily feel like anybody can do what I do. So, you know, I applaud them for feeling like, you know, they have found their voices and they're creating these different podcasts and it's working for some, you know, for some folks, you know. But yeah, I have not come to a woosah namaste kind of feeling about it. Because I feel like some of the positions and opportunities that they take upon, it's just like, dog, there's so many other people that was working for that spot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And just because they retired, you gonna give it to them? It's crazy. Like, it's sometimes it's crazy to me. But you know, opportunities and things like that was for you, and it won't miss you. So I do believe in that at the same time.
Fantastic. I think I asked
Awesome.
you everything, man. You know, I
Yeah.
could talk to you. One thing I do want to say is that I'm gonna invite you back to our year-end
Please.
show. I think if you're available, I think that's like our only 2-3 hour show.
Okay.
And so you just bring your 5 top moments of the past year,
Okay.
and you just be co-host with us.
Awesome.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
say no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
I'm with
no
it.
doubt, no
I'm
doubt.
with it. I got a lot going on, you know what I mean? And 2 of my top was with Lauren. You know, me and Lauren was able to go to Pointer this past summer. That's one of my top accomplishments and achievements of the year. And then being able to go to Kansas City and, you know, show up and show out in that space and represent NICE and WHOY in that way was pretty cool.
That
as well.
was dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll text you live like, yo, you
Yeah.
killing this shit. Like that was dope. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
you represented as well right there, you know, and I think that's if we continue to do stuff like that, we have somebody that becomes the spokesperson at the moment. Everyone don't have to always be in front.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, you did as well with that. That was
Thank you, man.
that was something that we was excited to see. Hopefully there's more opportunities like that comes our way.
For sure.
Where like WHYY, you know, and the NICE initiative that we can jump back on. But I think they needed outlets like ours, you know, like what you do, like everyone that was part of that to put them in spaces. And I think, and I'm trying to stay political in that sometimes the movers and shakers are used, you know, so they can get in those spaces.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I'm
Talk about it.
You know, and you know that becomes frustrating, especially when you're thrown out there for a purpose and then something is snatched away from
for
you.
sure. And that's how I feel right now. And going into 2026, it's a huge year for the city of Philadelphia. And I need the city of Philadelphia to represent and show up for independent media the same way they do when it's an election year and election season. The same way y'all call on us, y'all need to call on us for this FIFA, this All-Star game, this, you know, 250 celebration, everything that's happening. Y'all need to call on us and make sure we're in the room to be able to tell the stories for our audiences as well. So like I'm trying to do my best to put pressure on them to see yo, like we need to be there. Like it is not going down in a way in which I think y'all just going to have the Inquirer and well, did y'all see that the Citizens just bought Philly Mag?
No.
Yeah, the Citizens just bought Philly Mag. They are now one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's heavy.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like it needs to be independent media in these spaces as well going into that 250th year. And it's so much so much money, so much tourism, so much everything happening in this year, and we need to be a part of that.
See, and that's the part where I always say that's where independent media, people within independent media need a collaborative to push for that.
Yeah.
You know, so we can be vocal, because I'm gonna tell you, 90% of the candidates that are in position at this moment came through this show. And one of the things we ask them, do you promise either one to come back or to continue to support independent media.
Yeah.
And our mayor said that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's about time for people to, show.
Yeah, we
improve
Talk
and
Weekly
support.
got her elected.
Yeah.
It's like, no, chugga.
Oh God,
We
right.
are a bipartisan station.
Yes, that's funny. But we do say that you come through We Talk Weekly, you're amplified enough for certain demographic to see you to want to vote,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so one thing we always say is, listen, whatever side you on, if you for the community, we for you.
Mhm.
Simple as that for me. Anyway, you for the community. I don't care what you are. If you for the community, I see you in them streets doing the work. I'm for you.
Oh, I ain't saying that. I ain't doubling down on that.
No, that's just me. If I see you in the street doing the work, if I see you in spaces that I seen you, yeah, I got you.
So if you see a Republican doing that, you want it?
I'm saying that everyone, I'm saying that a clock is right, a broken clock is right at least 2 times.
But I'm just saying, you just said if I see a person. So if you see a candidate who's a Republican
right.
out on the street doing the work that they said they was going to do, you supporting it at the same time?
I will say that if you want to take the case of David O, 100% yes, because I was for David O.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that question, that went over my head with the David O, but the reason why I asked that question is because technically 47's in office doing the work that he said he was going to do. So I was just wondering
No,
if you
I'm saying for the
supported
people though. I'm saying for the
I was just trying to be,
I got you. No, I appreciate that. Look, just being specific because I'm talking about more specifically Philadelphia.
But
right?
people clip right now. You know what I'm saying, Charles? So you got to
People
make sure people are clipping right now.
No,
So you got to make sure you stand, when you see it,
100%.
you a person.
And I appreciate that. And to be specific, watch the show. That's what it is.
Okay.
Stop
Tell 'em.
clickbaiting. Watch the show, like, share, and subscribe. As simple as that. But I stand 10 toes down on if you in them streets right now, like even with the SNAP benefits, if I seen a Republican that's knocking on doors talking about, I'm supporting Ms. Johnson, I know that you don't have any food, I'm going to the store and take you, I'm for that person.
Okay.
It's 10 toes down on that.
Can I ask a quick question before we wrap up?
Yep.
39 days in.
Yeah.
How long you think this going to go? And do you see it being something in which it is like a selfish move on our government, or do you think that this is just what government truly is?
As it relates to, be more specific, because I want to.
So we're 39 days in, right?
Right.
And my first question is, how long do you think it's going to go? And then my second question I want to ask is like, do you think that this is politics as usual, our politicians being selfish, or do you believe, as someone who is an American citizen, that this is just how government is ran? Like this is just how government goes when we are at odds on the fence of Democrat, Republican, because we have a 2-party system.
You're talking about the shutdown.
Yeah. 39 days in.
That's a great question. That's a great. Lauren could probably speak to that because she's been doing a lot of work on that. But one of the things that we just spoke about was that you have both parties pointing fingers at each other.
So do you think it's selfish, or do you think it's just government?
I think it's
both, honestly, and it's hard to say both because I know it's a definitive answer out there. But I think it's both. I think that we are programmed to. We're programmed to see politics as what it is. We already programmed that literally is only 2 sides, right? Exactly. And so if you are wrapped shinier and you appeal to certain people, especially those who don't do that research, you're going to appeal to a certain demographic. And I think that is only a certain amount of people that really pull back the layers and understand and start to dig and say, oh, this aligns with me and this is what I believe. But I think it's the answer to the question specific. I think it's kind of both. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think we're in this time. And when I say in this time, people forget about the Jim Crow laws. They forget about things that was of the yesteryears that was far worse than what we're going through right now. And I think that when we look at the climate that we're in, we don't understand it to a point of saying community, unity, and we're not sticking together on certain aspects of it. So I think that, I think that it's all about money right now. I don't think it's really, even though we call it race at times, I don't think that is.
So you think it's government?
Hold that thought real quick, because we got to do this little ID check. We talk weeklies after the talk with WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful,
Classy Lady Sparkle,
and the beautiful
Lawrence,
and the beautiful
PLC.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna see y'all on the other side.
Yeah, I
Goes
think
for-
it's
yeah.
I think it's government.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Lauren?
I think it's a mix of both.
Mhm.
I think it's, well, from what I'm seeing, I want to say that the research that I've been doing and things that I've been looking into, I do know that from what it looks like, I do know that the, one side, I don't want to say names, but I'm
Mhm.
sure you can figure out, one side is in fact, from what it looks like, they're trying to hold the line.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And the other side, they are trying to pass what is a huge bill of things that are not beautiful at all.
Mhm.
And I haven't had the chance to go through this 331 page bill, but from what I'm
The
seeing,
big beautiful bill.
yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is have it start after the next 2026 election, so that it doesn't take effect right now, so that whenever the people are voting next year, they won't be affected by it effective immediately, so they're not going to vote a different way because
Yeah.
it's not bothering them. But once they vote for their parties that they're registered for, that stuff takes effect, and it's
Mhm.
supposed to, some of the stuff in there is supposed to be in effect until 2029.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
For that rollover year.
Yes.
After midterms. for sure,
exactly.
for sure, for
So
sure.
when you have one party that's trying to hold the line, they are fighting for keeping you from being impacted by
For
that
sure,
stuff.
for sure.
Mhm.
Can I get Javon's
No,
opinion?
yeah,
Because
sure.
it's like itching them. Go ahead. We talk about this all the time when it comes down to government. Jump in. The mic's right there.
I think that
Let me see.
I think that the thing is that sometimes you have to realize some people act. I don't even want to say sometimes. You have two sides of people who actually sometimes just truly believe what they believe. They
I think
really
that might be
believe
one.
in.
Go ahead. Keep
Or
talking.
they really just believe in what they believe in, and so whether they believe in what we believe in or not, that doesn't stop them from having their
Four.
beliefs and believing that that's what it is. And so I feel like, and so I feel like,
It's working.
and so I feel like you have a mixture of politics being politics, people just doing things because they don't like what other people are doing, and then you have people who really believe in what they're doing. They believe that what they believe is the right thing, and so they're fighting for what they believe in. And so, whether that be Democrat or Republican, I trust me, I don't believe in what they believe in, but we have. I think that at a certain point, we have to, both sides have to learn to get to a more understanding point to be like, this is just another person who believes in something different than me. The way that they go about their beliefs may not be the right thing, but they're fighting. They believe that they're fighting for the same thing we're fighting for. Right. That their beliefs should count just as much as ours. I don't agree with that, but I think that you just have people who are very emphatic on both sides, and I think that we have to learn to get to a point where it's not political. It's not, I don't like you. I don't want. It's not. It's just humane. We have to get there.
And we're never going to do that. Not here in the United States.
Right.
Like in the United
Right.
States, just that's what it is. It's about capital gain. You feel me? So if I have a little second to answer my own question, I feel like right now where we are in a space, like I feel like they're showing us what true government actually is and how much power they actually have, right? But at the same time, we see how much power is in true local state government. I've never thought about it
Right.
this much into this point. You have state judges like denying, sending appeals,
Mhm.
taking situations all the way to the Supreme Court of their state, like actually making changes that way, having people like State Rep Jordan Harris come through and was like, yo, PECO, PGW, and Pepco, y'all cannot turn these water, electricity, gas bills off until this is done. You know what I'm like actually stepping up. So like showing me a little bit more of like how much power the federal government actually have,
right.
but how much more we really need to hyper focus in on our state and hyper focus in on our local government, because they actually do have some power when it comes down to how it's being provoked on what is happening on a state level and what is happening on a local level. You feel me? Because what's Mayor Parker, I was gonna say, what's her name? Excuse me, my apologies, never again, right? But Mayor Parker, she just did a thing with community organizations where she put out her SNAP program, you know, her One Philly SNAP program, which is giving the money directly to the organizations to pass out the food that way, to distribute the food. Then you have it on a state level where Josh Shapiro was a part of these governors who came together as a collective to put in that appeal to the judge to actually, you know, invoke the fact that Donald Trump now has to, you know, give up these federal dollars. So that really opened my eyes to that part of politics, but it also reminded me that government is government. You feel me? And how much government can actually not agree. Like it is crazy how many branches. I mean, it's only 3 branches of the government, but how much of these 3 branches of the government don't agree with each other? Like our judicial branch is not agreeing with our executive branch right now. Like, and if they're not all in line, we're going to get a 39-day shutdown. You know what I'm saying? So it's government, but it's like it makes you aware of like how government is structured and how it actually is being ran.
Yeah, and I think that's the
shout out to our judicial for stepping up and making
but
that happen.
That's the part, but that's why there is three branches of government, just for exactly what you said. Go ahead, brother. Yep.
So I don't know. Sorry. So I don't know if you said that they said that he was allowed to take the SNAP. The Supreme Court just ruled that Donald Trump could fully take SNAP and withhold the payment.
When was that?
This literally was maybe they allowed him to do it.
Wow.
It went back, and at the Supreme Court they allowed temporarily they appealed. They overruled it.
So they overruled the actual appeal, and now we got to re-appeal
again. The Supreme Court said that he is well within his right at this moment, while the appeal was going on, to take away SNAP. Well, Donald Trump. They said that Donald Trump, because they initially a lower court told him,
the one that Josh Shapiro and the governors did.
Right. A lower court told him you have to at least, partially fund SNAP, and then he appealed it to the Supreme Court as an emergency docket. They ruled that he actually could withhold the entire SNAP funding while the appeal process is going on.
And it's like 5-1 on the Supreme, 5-2 on the Supreme.
5-2 on the. So it more than likely that is so, but that leaves it in the hands of the states now, right?
Yeah, it would leave it the state's money to distribute it that way.
I thought they halted the payments though.
Hold on, Lauren, I don't hear you.
Well, that would go back to something that I just learned. So
because I think some of them got dispersed and then they had to halt it once.
Yeah, it depends on who got what and who got who. Yeah, so some people could have got theirs released. I'm not sure if people have some, because that what y'all just told me actually is brand new to me.
Yeah, that's brand new.
Yeah, that happened Friday.
Wow,
that happened. Yeah, it just happened.
Unbelievable.
It's like it's crazy, and then that was, I believe, Ketanji. But I think it was temporarily, overruled because they wanted to look at not funding the full amount.
Yeah.
And
because I think it's going in. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say I think it's going into other funds like WIC and all that, not just SNAP. And that's, I guess, part of the argument that he doesn't want to go into, because he wants to partially fund it, not fully. And the judge is like fully funded, and then they're like, we can't because that money is going to affect other programs.
Right.
And I think this is just going to be a ripple effect of that whole Project 2025 thing that we all were talking about prior to November
Yeah,
9th, you know. So I think that when it comes down to just dismantling government assistant programs in general, this is just the start of it. You feel me? And this
Yeah,
government
this is the
shutdown is
beginning, yeah.
going to one is going to go from food, and then food is going to go into housing, then housing is going to be even a bigger effect. Because I think it actually started with education, with the conversation starting
Mhm.
around dismantling the education and pulling certain things from our
Mhm.
school systems, and then now it's with the food, and then it's going to be housing. I think it's just going to triple effect, be a ripple effect. I'm sorry, and it's really going to hurt that middle class, which are the people who pay the most taxes in this country currently right now. So I think it's just literally just an outpour of what we see from Project 2025. That was already, it was already written that these things
Yeah.
were going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll give you a round of applause, man. That's
Thank y'all for having me,
No,
for sure.
absolutely.
I appreciate y'all. A little 10 minutes over too as
No,
well. You know I'm
yeah.
gonna talk. You gotta
No,
cut me
it's
off,
all
Charles.
good. So why don't y'all just stay a little bit if you don't mind,
Mhm.
unless y'all gotta go. So you can stay a little bit. We got the Sizzle coming up where she's going to talk a lot about this. We have her second segment coming up. But before we let you leave, why don't you let everyone know how they can get in contact with you, all that good old stuff. Yeah.
Got you, no doubt. You can find more about Revive and Revive Radio, Revive Media at Revive is Alive, Revive is Alive, ReviveIsAlive.com. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yes, I still say Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Revive_POC. You can go to our website, like I just said, which is ReviveIsAlive.com, and subscribe to our newsletter. That box is actually going to pop right up at you as a tab. Click it. We're not going to, spam your inbox. We only shoot you a newsletter once a month so you can stay locked with everything we got going on. And also subscribe to our YouTube. That's where we put most of our recaps and exclusive interviews and all those things. And then also check out our newsletter. Our news articles that we post on the website. I try to do my best to keep up with my news article, at least write 2 to 3 a month. So definitely check out some of these articles as I'm struggling to keep it going. So yeah, appreciate you all. And then also the Revive local paper. Make sure you check it out. With a monthly newspaper that we print once a month here in the city of Philadelphia. And you can follow that at Revive Local Paper on Instagram as well, and the local paper on Facebook.
Fantastic. One thing that we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're fronted. Well, I don't have to say all that. You're more than welcome to come back. When we come back, we got the Sizzle, y'all. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Let's talk. We want to go to Let's go to Alexa. This is how you can find us.
What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me, they inbox me, email me, all type of things. We're trying to find your podcast. We can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to WeTalkWeekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully Channel, turn on Higher Than 7, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the Sizzle entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. And I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk, Kevin Hart Backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. I love.
Talk of WPPMRP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weekly's After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and the beautiful
PLC.
And we are definitely in the building. So you already know what we got coming up next. Sizzle, you ready for me?
Yeah, we got the Sizzle.
All right, give it to me.
All right. So you guys know what it is. It's your favorite show, We Talk Weekly. So you want to catch us on all social media and major podcast platforms. subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you want to stay connected and entertain and keep up with the movement, support us by donating on our Cash App. You can go to $ We Talk Weekly. You can go to wetalkweekly.com and you can donate via PayPal. No donation is great or small. All right, so Outkast, Salt and Pepper, Cyndi Lauper, they are among those to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's what's that, 90s? Is that 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Donald Glover, he's gonna be inducting Outkast. And some of their hits, if you remember, was Hey Ya, remember Hey Ya, Miss Jackson, Roses, Salt and Pepper. You remember some of their hits in the 80s? They had Push It, Let's Talk About Sex, baby. Remember that? And then Shoot, Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That's like I feel like that's a bop. That's just like anytime, like, and the time after time and all that.
Oh,
so
that was my son.
yeah. So that's gonna be dope. The Grammy nominations, they are fresh off the press. So the 2026 Grammys will go down on September, on Sunday, February 1st at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Kendrick Lamar is leading the pack with 9 nominations. Shout out to him.
That album is a year old.
I know.
I
There's
know.
no music out there. Yeah?
This is a year old.
Wow.
That is crazy though. But if he wins just 4 out of those 9 nods, he could become the rapper with the most wins.
Wow.
You realize that Jay-Z has the crown right now with 25 wins, and Kanye is right behind him with 24. So Lady Gaga, she comes right behind Kendrick Lamar with 7 nods. Bad Bunny has 6.
Beautiful.
Clips, Pusha T and Malice, SZA and Tyler, the
I forgot
Creator,
about
they
Clips.
all have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They deserve
yeah.
it. They have
Yeah, Clips
a real
done.
album
Yeah.
this year.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited about that though. Hopefully they come home with something. But
Not if they up against Tyler. Tyler gonna take everything.
yeah, that's tough. Sorry Swifties. Taylor Swift is missing from the nominations list for the first time since 2018, since her album The Life of a Showgirl dropped. That's for anybody that's a Swiftie.
And as a woman, Lauren, I ain't mad at it. She got a man. She living her life. She doing
Yes.
something she's never done before. She's
Exactly.
been doing music since she popped out. You feel
right.
me? So the fact that she's actually in love and like just being Taylor,
yeah, exactly.
She ain't tripping. I know she ain't
Exactly. Yes. But she kind of, that album came out late, so she missed the deadline to submit for the Grammy, so she wasn't able to submit. And then The Weeknd got snubbed. He had reportedly submitted his album Hurry Up Tomorrow, and he came out empty-handed.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing. I ain't been a Weeknd fan since he's performed at the Super Bowl. Like, what was that? Yo.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
that was
turned me off a little bit.
I don't know what that was. And then also Billie Eilish, she kind of somewhat got snubbed because I think she didn't get any major nods, like she had little stuff. But just wanted to know, like, album of the year, is that like the biggest like category, album of the year?
Mm-hmm.
So who do y'all think is going to win album of the year? Bad Bunny. He has don't even try to get me to say the name of his
You don't want to
album.
try.
He killing them, yeah.
I mean, my Spanish ain't that great.
Yeah.
So
we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then Justin Bieber Swag.
I didn't even know he had an album.
I didn't know that yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's crazy.
He's still using swag though, but go ahead.
Yeah,
It's kinda weird.
swag is swag. So
Don't let Soulja Boy know that. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yo.
He probably like Justin Bieber.
I know, right?
And then Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend.
Mm.
The Clips, Pusha T and
That's
Malice,
what I'm
Let God
rooting for.
Sort Them Out.
That album was crazy. Man,
Lady Gaga, Ma'am. Kendrick
know she
Lamar,
had something
GNX.
Yeah,
Leon
I'm actually
Thomas.
not feeling all of them. Oh, you got one more. You got some more?
Leon Thomas, Mutt.
Mm.
And then
Album?
Tyler, the Creator.
Wow, I'm not feeling none of that. As far
I'm
as like
feeling Clips.
Full,
Shout
a
out
full
to Clips.
We're talking album of the year. When I think of album of the year, I think of a full
Yeah.
project from start to finish.
No,
Like,
who has
that
a,
joint been
who from
jumping.
the last time? Think of the
Kendrick
last.
Lamar, the last when he
Oh
won
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
You
No,
know, that
wait,
was
let's
a
pull
respect-
Kendrick out of it.
That's why I don't think he should be in it right now.
Now.
No,
Yeah,
so
he
what I was
shouldn't
so the
be.
question was, if you think about it, who in the last like few years had an album from start to finish that? Hold on,
Jasmine Sullivan.
hold on, do it again.
Jasmine Sullivan.
She different.
Kiana Lede.
Okay.
Kiki by Kiana
But we talking about
Lede.
people who have been
Mhm.
nominated for.
No, but that's not what he
yeah.
said. He said who in the last few albums,
I did.
a few
You're
last
right.
few
You're
years
right.
I
have
did.
had it because
Good ear.
those should be the albums that are up for
That
album
should
of the
be
year.
nominated, right?
That's fair. That's
That's
fair.
fair.
And Jasmine Sullivan, I don't know.
She a
She didn't win
unicorn.
album of the year that year,
Yeah.
but she did win
Yeah.
herself some Grammys for the
Yeah.
first time
Yeah.
2 years
With
ago
that
from that
album.
album.
Yeah, yeah,
I just want to point
And
that
that
out.
was well deserved.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Well deserved.
It was a
Yes.
long time
That was
coming,
a
and that
start to finish
start
project.
to finish, and then
Project.
she put out the bone,
Yeah.
the bonus, and then those extra 3 songs would start to finish.
Mhm.
And they played
It
us
wasn't a
with
skip.
that whole Cowboy Carter thing. You know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
was-
Like that made me feel like anybody could just like do something different and be like,
Yeah.
because you did it differently this time, we're gonna make sure we show love for your
Yeah.
different. Like,
Yeah.
nah.
I don't know that I agree with you.
I mean, a lot of people don't. That's why she had a sold out tour all around the country, right?
That's Beyonce.
Yeah, you know what
Beyonce
I'm
is
saying?
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Some people I don't put in the ecosystem or the conversation because you just can't. They're just too big to have that discussion with someone who's just a citizen, so to speak, right? If you got a new artist, you can't compare a new artist to Beyonce. Like she's just too big.
It depends on what type of Beyonce. If we're talking about
Mhm.
Lemonade Beyonce, sure. We talking about Deja Vu
Mhm.
Beyonce, sure. But if we talking about Cowboy Carter Beyonce, heck yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be like, you
I
what?
give you
Cowboy
that.
Carter was a start to
tripping.
finish.
Nah, you
I like that. I didn't. I
tripping.
I
That
feel
was
that.
for a
I feel
certain
the way.
audience and a certain demographic.
I feel the
of
way you feel about Cowboy Carter about Renaissance.
people. Even a Renaissance album. We
That's
talk
how
about
I feel about
Renaissance
Renaissance.
Beyonce.
But
I
Cowboy
would
Carter,
compare.
I don't know.
Because
Cowboy
there's some
Carter is a
albums
Cowboy
that
Carter.
there's some albums that came out that year that Renaissance and I don't think Cowboy Carter could compete with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just my opinion.
I don't know. I don't know about album of the year, but
Definitely not
start
album
to
of the year.
finish. I definitely can start. To
Yeah.
finish.
Cowboy
Lauren,
Carter.
Answer your own question based off who you just read. Who do you think? Album of the year.
Mm.
She can't even answer her own
I
question.
could, the only reason I go with clips.
I'm like,
Go ahead, the only reason I go with clips haven't done anything. He pops up with his brother,
yeah.
yeah.
and that album just set hip hop brought hip hop back.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so that's why I say the clips, and it was really good. The creative piece of that was really good. I was full.
The
I
fact
would
that
have
it
to
got
give it to
recognition
Leon.
is dope.
Sorry. I'm gonna have to give it to Leon.
Mhm.
Leon is out there grinding. Leon, everything Leon puts out is gold.
Mm.
Everything he puts out. There is not a song that you heard by Leon Thomas that you said, I don't like that.
Mhm.
Leon puts in the
That's
work.
real.
Leon is humble. Leon
Is it
don't
big
get-
enough? Is it big enough?
What does big enough have to do with
I'm
anything?
just.
We're
It's just
talking
a
about-
question. Yeah.
and that's my issue when it comes
Right.
to these awards.
Right.
They talk about going out and campaigning for.
Right.
Why
Right.
should I have to campaign for
good music?
for something that I put
Mhm.
out? My art should speak for itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you're talking about an album of the year, what it should be judged on is which album was the best of the year, not is it bigger than who's the biggest, and
So
if
this is
he-
about art.
if
This
he
isn't
wins-
about who got the most clicks.
If he wins, is he the underdog?
That's a great
Would you
question.
say, like, is he
Absolutely
the
not.
underdog,
I don't
or-
think so. I don't
No?
That's a
think so.
great
I think Clips. It would be hard. Clips is the
Clips.
underdog.
Yeah. Clips will be the underdog. I
Clips
think
is
clips will be the
underdog.
underdog. Yeah. Definitely.
And on that list, absolutely.
Yeah.
Leon Thomas is in today's world. Leon Thomas is. I'm telling you, he's bigger than. I think he's bigger than a lot of us think that he is.
Mm.
Not on
But he
not
doesn't-
to that list. That list
No,
has
no,
Lady
not to-
Gaga,
Sabrina-
has Justin
of course.
Bieber.
I just-
is.
I-
Yeah, why
Lady-
is Lady?
I'm about to say Lady
I
Gaga is
mean-
an international superstar.
yeah.
Justin
But-
Bieber,
but you
Lady
mean
Gaga,
her
and
album-
Tyler the Creator on that one list. Leon Thomas don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
agree, but-
saying. Like, it's just kind of like, to me, I just feel like, all right, you got Kendrick Lamar's album.
Ain't nobody
Like,
think-
come
And
on
Bad Bunny,
now.
though.
And
Oh,
then you
I
got
forgot about
Lady
Bad Bunny.
Gaga
And
as a
Bad Bunny.
legend. Like,
Yeah. It's not fair.
yeah, it's
Jesus
kind of.
Christ,
I mean, to me, it just seemed like it's like.
But you say it's not fair, but then you also got to realize it is some of those people's dreams to just be put in
They'll
that
just
category
appear
with
on
those
it,
people.
100%.
You know what I mean? Some
Mhm.
people don't even want to win the
I
award.
agree.
I
I'm
just
just
want
in
the
the-
recognition of
Next
being
to
next
all of
to,
your-
to be
Mhm.
my name next to
I get it.
Beyonce.
Yep,
I don't
right.
care that I didn't win.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's about
Yes.
it's about what your personal goal is and what you believe success
Mhm.
is. Is success the award, or is success the recognition that my art is done so well that my name is put up with these people who have been doing it for 30 years?
Success is the award.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I disagree, because the few people around me to tell me that this success, the academy chooses, or they choose who gets that award. My success comes from the people that I put my music out for, not from a group of people who are millionaires sitting in a room saying, "Are we gonna listen to a few of these songs? We're gonna listen to about 30 seconds, a minute of it, make sure we like it.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out
Yeah.
what the best is for our
That's-
ratings."
That's the people's champ. That's the people's champ. So, but this is the same argument that happens. Who's the best? Is it LeBron or is it Jordan? Because Jordan got rings, LeBron, like on that type of thing. He got more rings than us. So who's actually the best, right? And so I think that it just becomes more. It's hard to say, but it's what's the most popular album. That's how they put what's the parameter, what's the benchmark to say this is the best album of the year? Is it sales? Because clearly, Leon, I mean, you can't say sales, but the album is amazing, like front to back, right? Lady Gaga, I'm sure that's. I mean, like what? So what
But
is?
that's not- but that's
What's the
not
benchmark?
Their benchmark is that it's all the voting block says, as a voting block,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think had the best? It's not about, they don't look at numbers. They don't look at and say, all right, well, this. What it's supposed to be is this group of people who consider themselves the highest level of music are supposed to sit down, listen
But those
to these
people are
albums.
voted in, though.
Yeah.
Those people are voted in, though. The Grammy class is voted in. It's a Grammy class per city. And every major city has a Grammy
Yeah,
class.
that's right.
I understand.
And that's how we get to the actual nominations of people.
That's right.
And then once it leaves the actual cities of the nomination, then that's when it goes to the Grammy board, who was also nominated or voted in to be the board of the Grammys.
That's right.
So it is still the people putting these people into position. So the people are making the decision on who gets to vote, saying that this person has the caliber to vote on this level of voting for this particular, recognition or platform.
Right, but what I'm saying is they're not looking at numbers.
Yeah.
These are the people who are this high class of music who are supposed to listen to these albums and say, this is the one that did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
This is the one from beginning to end.
Right. So that's where I think if we are critical with it, right, then the benchmark is already set. So we're not acknowledging who our favorites are at that point, right? It's what's the benchmark? This is the benchmark, and this who deserves to win. And just kind of leave it at that. No doubt. Go ahead, sis. Okay, you got everybody talking. They ready.
Yeah. No, that was good stuff.
Mhm.
Good stuff. So the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the Week, which we give out award to celebrities that are doing great things for people in the community, goes to Tyler Perry. Longtime actor, writer, director, producer, and philanthropist Tyler Perry is donating nearly $1.4 million to organizations that support those at risk of losing SNAP benefits. So in a statement to People, Tyler said, "If you've never been poor, then you may not fully understand the life-changing impact SNAP benefits mean to hardworking people, to our seniors, and to our children. For millions of people, it could mean extreme hunger. For newborns, it could mean a lack of access to formula." So some of the organizations that will benefit from Tyler's donation include Atlanta Community Food Bank, Baby to Baby, Meals on Wheels, Atlanta, Caring for Others, All for Lunch, and Ron Clark Academy and Gooder. So other celebrities are also rising to the occasion to support SNAP recipients and those affected by the government shutdown. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel, he started a local food bank in Los Angeles called, is ironically, the Big Beautiful Food Bank. He always got to poke fun. And then Wanda Sykes, she used her speech at the
Shout out to
Variety.
Wanda. I like Wanda. Sykes. Shout
Yeah,
out to Wanda.
at the Variety Power of Women event to highlight how losing SNAP benefits would impact single mothers.
That's what's
So
up.
yeah,
what's
so
up, yeah.
I'm your girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was the Sizzle.
And that was the Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Greg with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful
PLC.
and my guy.
Javon.
Yeah.
No doubt. That was We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk. And we appreciate you for tuning this
Thank y'all
long
again
show.
for having me,
Oh
Charles.
man,
Thank you
nah,
again,
this was
Lauren,
it's
for
an
having me.
absolute pleasure. Give you
Yes.
another round of applause. You deserve all the accolades and all the support
Yes.
that you get. You deserve
Even
it.
allowing my friend to come and speak.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a
Of
family affair.
course.
It's a
Yes.
family affair. You know, it's one of those things. And so, one thing that we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're always welcome to come back.
Appreciate you.
But definitely for the New Year's wrap up, y'all.
I'm with it.
Invitation is there. Make sure y'all come and have some fun and talk, y'all talk. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy Charles Gregory. When we out here like last year, don't go nowhere. We'll see you next week. Holla.
Peace.
Yeah.